Danfall offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfall, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfall, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfall, Africa. To learn more, visit danfall.africa.
Peace, family. We are live. Oh, hold on, get the mic together. Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, wrong mic, wrong mic. Now we're on the right mic. There we go. Please hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. Announcement number one: we are rolling to Senegal. We are rolling to Senegal. That is May 9th to the 18th. May 9th to the 18th. We are rolling to Senegal. If you're interested in joining us, please visit danfall.africa. Again, please visit Danfall. That's DANFO .africa to learn more. We'll love to host y'all on one of our adventures. Again, we'll love to host y'all on one of our adventures. We're also rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. And then we're going to, where are we going after that? We're going to do Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Ivory Coast in November. So if you're interested in joining, please go to this site right here. I'm about to pull it up. This site right here. Bam, there we go. Danfall.africa, you guys. That's the site. Come and join us. Love to have you. Shout out to everybody this Saturday evening, Saturday night here in Atlanta. The weather is nice, y'all. I think it is officially spring. Well, not officially spring, but I believe we are done with this cold spell. And I also want to say that this winter, all right, was the cheapest my power bill has ever been. Thank God, hallelujah. Again, this winter was the cheapest my power bill has ever been. Oops, my bad. I had to remove myself. Because sometimes I be looking at the power, like I remember the last couple of years, boy, I was dreading. Once we got like end of December, January through February through early March, I was dreading the power bill. But the power bill, y'all, we Gucci. We Gucci. I am happy. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Jarawa. So my pipe froze on me. So like my house, I have a crawl space. And I don't know why. And I still haven't fixed it like a dummy. Like my pipe coming into the house from the street, it goes through the crawl space. But for some reason, right where the pipe is, there's like a vent there. So it's exposed to, it's pretty much exposed. So whenever it gets cold, like that cold wind will come like through that vent and freeze the pipe right there. And so me forgetting sometimes to let my pipes drip, my faucets drip whenever the weather drops below like 20 at night. If the weather drops below 20 at night, there's a good chance my pipes are gonna freeze, right? Or that one lone pipe. So sometimes I'll just forget to allow my faucets to drip at night whenever it drops below 20. So like 4 weeks ago, we had like a cold spell on a weekend. Got up in the morning, about to take a shower, wash my hands, wash my face. Water just I'm like, damn, my pipes froze. So usually it's gonna bust, right? So what I did, I went and got me an extension cord. I had my space heater, and I just put it near that pipe and let the space heater on and turn on all the pipes in my house, all the faucets in my house. I turned on, even the faucet for outside for my water hose. Turned them all on, and the pipe thawed out. So I was good. But yes, I've had that pipe burst a couple times, but this time it didn't. It just thawed out, and I was good to go. But I'm sorry. Your pipes must have been inside your house, like inside a wall, behind a wall. Gerard, where do you live? Where do you live in the States? Gerard. But guys, this is Danfall.Africa. This is the site. Would love to host you guys on one of our trips. Please visit Danfall.Africa. But I'll put the link in the chat room. If you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. Detroit. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Detroit. Yeah. I can only imagine when winter hit in Detroit, how that is. The Democrats choose illegal immigrants over FBA, but here's the problem. What's the problem, Dynas? Even if you don't identify as FBA, but if you are a descendant of enslaved Africans here in America, by definition, you would be considered FBA. And I saw a lot of proud FBA, ADOS, and now Solon pissed that when Donald Trump asked, should we put Americans over illegal immigrants, stand up. And when those Democrats didn't stand up, FBA was pissed off. But this is the issue. 90%, 92% of black women, 80% of black men voted for what we see in office today on the left for Democrats. That includes the majority of so-called FBA. So that being the case, why are you upset? It's what you voted for. You can't blame this on the immigrants. You cannot blame this one on the immigrants. You cannot blame this one. Well, AJ, you voted for the couch. They'll still say you're complicit in Donald Trump getting in office. Team left wing, right wing, same bird. They will still point the finger at you for Donald Trump being elected. They will still tell you that you don't understand politics. They will still say you are still as guilty and complicit in the election of Donald J. Trump because you decided you did not want to vote, even though that is your constitutional right not to vote. That's what they will say. That's what they will say. They will say it's your fault, and you're just as guilty as the Trump supporters. That's what they will say. They will tell you that. But anyways, the majority, what you see today in regards to elected officials, what you see today in regards to the elected officials on the side of the Democratic Party was voted, the majority of FBA voted for. Hard stop. Trump is 70 to 80 years old. He's already lived his life. He goes and starts a war for young Americans to lose their lives. Passport Bros, can you, if we could change the subject a little bit, but do you want to call in and expand on that? When you say young Americans to lose their lives, can you be specific? Can you be specific when you say for young Americans to lose their lives? Can you be specific on that, please? I'll put the link in the chat room. I'd love to get some clarity on that. What do you mean exactly? I do. So, Larry, you're right. You are correct. He said no new wars. He did say that. He did say that. You are right. You are right. I don't agree with it, Larry. I don't agree with it, Larry. But guys, hit the like button. Link is in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. Love to hear from y'all. But yeah, Larry, you got a point. He said no new wars. But I will say this. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. If it's true that Kamani is already passed, is already dead, that's what they're saying. If it's true, and also after what we saw happen in Venezuela, Trump has to be the most efficient president when it comes to regime change ever in the history of the United States of America. When he decides to go after a leader, he's getting that shit done in a weekend, in one day. Not even a weekend. When he decides to pull the trigger and that first missile is sent and he's like, listen, we got to remove so-and-so, that shit is being done in less than 5 hours. Nah, but Larry, they still have the same regime, but they are now bowing to the United States of America. In fact, the vice president who's in office, who took over, she was meeting with some American officials, smiling and cracking jokes. The president was not brought up one time. The free Maduro was not mentioned at one time. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. Listen, I disagree with Trump with some of the things he's doing. Venezuelan vice president was part of the regime change op. You can say that. I wouldn't disagree. So I'm telling you, it's because you have to think about it. When you're the Iraq War, Persian Gulf War, that dragged on for years and months before they got Saddam. You can say the same thing with Libya. And these wars drag on for years. But with Trump in office, he says, we getting them, that shit's done in 5 hours. Which now I got a question. Why were these wars dragged on this long in the first place? You might as well say it's a regime change in Venezuela. Trump gets them out of negotiating, but they know it's coming. They have intelligence. They know it's coming. With all the buildup that was going on this past week in the Persian Gulf, in the Mediterranean, Iran knew the shit was coming. They knew it was coming. Yeah, but they allegedly got the guy. Let me see here. And again, I know this is a little off topic, but it's current events and it's very, very I mean, this plays a huge factor in, all our lives. But another thing I'm disappointed in as well is very weird. Why are black people, black Americans, more upset about Khamenei being assassinated than the Iranians? Iranians are in the streets celebrating in Tehran. Meanwhile, black folks in America are upset. Iran is struck. Yeah, I saw that. In fact, I have a friend that's stationed in Bahrain. Is it Bahrain? But he said it's okay. He said they evacuated. But trust me, they got intelligence. They have intelligence. They know what's going on. But it's just something about when Trump's in office right now. How quickly and effective and precise he's been in regards to removing these leaders. I mean, Iran is stacked. But they went in there half a day, took them out. Iran's going to be interesting. I just think Iran is different from because we all know what happened with Afghanistan, with Libya, with Iraq, when you had regime change, how messy that got for years, and it's still a mess. I think Iran's going to be different. Because technically the prince is in LA. The Shah, he's in LA. So I think it's going to be Iran situation is going to be interesting. See how that plays out. Iran's a bit more sturdy and plans to hit back. We'll see. Africa does not support Iran. And which African countries are you referring to? Which African countries spoke out? Which property? I mean, which Africans in general? Africans in general love America. Africans in general love Israel. I had an African Christian tell me that Israel was more of the promised land. He said Israel is the promised land. And I said, "Oh, you're from Ghana. What about Ghana?" He was like, "No, Israel's the promised land." Africans love Mecca. I mean, depends on who you talk to. But guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in. You're more than welcome to call in. If you want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. Africans love what America could offer us. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. But guys, hit the like button. Links in the chat room. But let's look at some Kamani. No, let's go to the Trump when he asked the Democrats to stand up. Let's pull that up. Here we go. Fair use, Forbes, breaking news, fair use.
Hey, John Hamm, you still coming to my dog's birthday party?
I have to sell my car.
Well, just sell it to Carvana.
Carvana?
Isn't that your car?
Okay, fine, I sold it.
We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight, I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because.
Hold on, let me, Asar Black, you are crazy if you think Iran is going to roll over and play dead. They have 5,000 years of history. This is just another war of aggression. Iran has never been a threat to America. So the Iran that we see today is not the Iran. The Iran we see today is the Iran of this is the Iran of this. Iran is only 40-something years old. This Iran we see today. This is a completely different Iran. This is not the old Iran. This Islamic State Iran is not Persia. So you're talking about Persia. This is Iran. This Ayatollah Iran is new. Completely different Persia.
Because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight, I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
All right. Khomeini. Question everybody is asking, is he dead? I wish somebody, is there anyone in here that is ex-military, especially Navy SEAL? Do we have any ex-Navy SEALs in here? Any again, any ex-Navy SEALs in here? I'm just trying to figure out how, like, okay, you know it's coming. Like you know it's coming. No, trust me, Iran has intelligence as well. But how do you still let them get you? That's the part I don't understand. Like, you know it's coming. How do you allow them to still get you? You said Temu Navy SEALs? No, we need some real Navy SEALs or anybody that served in the military to call in. Because I got questions. Again, I got questions. How did they get them? Now, Iran is saying he's not dead, but, you know, they're sure not showing him. Here we go.
As a nonprofit corporation, MITRE is chartered to deliver solely for the public interest. We get up every single day, work.
US President Donald Trump says Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has been killed following coordinated strikes by the US and Israel on Iran. Trump made the announcement on his Truth Social media platform. He said bombing would continue for as long as necessary to reach peace in the Middle East. Iran has not yet reacted to Trump's statement on Khamenei's death. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the strikes killed further senior Iranian officials and that Israel will continue to hit thousands of targets in the coming days. Well, let's bring in DW's Washington.
Hey, go ahead, Wob, go.
Yes, good afternoon, brother. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people still fall victim to the partisan thing. What's going on now has nothing to do with any party. If Kamala Harris would have got elected, she would have fell straight in line with the foreign policy, especially when it comes to the position towards Israel. They would still be doing preemptive strikes against Iran. They want that regime to be gone. And they're doing everything within their power to make sure that Israel has the main say in the Levant. That's why they propped up the entity in the first place. The United States is a derelict imperial regime. They created the problem that they're complaining about right now in Iran when they overthrew Mossadegh and installed a tyrant that just led to them becoming more and more Islamic.
Hold on. 1 second, Wob, go. One second. Let me just do this real quick. Hey, Pam Mulatto. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my Cash App in the chat, and then I'll let you on once you pay your fine. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Wob, go.
Yes. So back to what I was saying about Iran, how they destabilized Iran. They led what the United States did with Mossadegh directly led to them becoming more fundamentalist Shia, an Islamic state. they would be what would the United States would be considered a progressive regime under Mossadegh. Mossadegh tried to nationalize the oil and make sure that they were not getting gouged from Britain with the oil. And when that happened, the United States teamed up with the United Kingdom intelligence and deposed Iran. They staged fake protests, some akin to what's happening in the present time. So it's just run-of-the-mill United States foreign policy. And it kills me how United States citizens come on here and just are for it. I mean, you can be for it because it's your nation, but don't come on here and act like this country is some bastion of morality when it's not. Love the United States for what it is. Don't try to come on here and lie to people when people know what the facts are. I'll let somebody else speak.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Pam Mulatto comes on here and brags how much money he has, and he refuses to pay his tariff. So yeah, that's how we're handling that now. That's how we're handling it. Go ahead, Teddy on politics. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, they had a prior to. Yeah, can you hear me?
We hear you.
Okay. Hold on. I got to turn on the playback. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. They had a democratically elected president prior to 1979, and America was instrumental in overthrowing that government. That's where they have the government they have today. So America's hands are all in it.
Was that under Jimmy Carter in '79?
Yeah, it was Jimmy Carter because he was because you remember the hostage. I don't know, maybe you don't, maybe you're too young, but they had the hostages for over a year and a half. It was 300 and something days. They had American hostages in there because they were they overthrew their previous president. That's how you got the Islamic regime in there now. So that's what happened with that. And that was America. America had his hands all in that back then.
It's interesting you bring that up because the way black folks worship Jimmy Carter is just crazy.
Yeah, he was instrumental in that. He was all down for that. Supported that completely.
Yeah, but it just goes to show how geopolitically illiterate we are as a people, and it's just as quote unquote Americans in general. Like it has they put the partisan politics in as a distraction. These people have interest. These corporations have interest. The corporations have more direct influence on United States foreign policy than any single politician or any citizen. So the minute we get that through our heads, we won't be having these stupid conversations about partisan politics or conservative or liberalism. It's dumb.
Yeah, and Trump put out that false statement, or that statement that lacked evidence that Khomeini was killed, and there's no evidence of that.
Well, Iran said he wasn't. Israel said they had the proof. So hopefully that shit doesn't backfire, and he's still alive. He just pops up.
I hope it does. I hope he's still alive and kicking. That'll show them.
Because they said he passed away. He said he passed away. His daughter-in-law, his son,
he's been planning a succession. They've had a succession plan since the tensions have been ampling up. But the Iranians have a martyr culture, so that's run of the mill with them. They have martyr culture from Shia Islam.
Yeah, and Iran told them what he's going to do. They're going, if we going down, everybody going down, and that's it. Everybody in the neighborhood going down. And that's what's happening. I don't blame them. I do not blame them, because the Qataris ain't on their side, UAE ain't on their side, the Saudis always had a problem with Iran, and then the Jordanians too, the Bahrainians, the Kuwaitis, all of them. They hitting them all up. Yeah, that's what they said they were going to do, and that's what they're doing.
Go ahead, T. Khalid.
Yeah, man, this is part of the Trump administration that I don't like, man. Because I didn't even listen to his speech when he was talking about why we invading Iran. I think I listened to like a minute of it. I'm like, yeah, this sounds like some Bush stuff. It's like regime change. We are freeing the people. I mean, since when is Trump ran on not being the policeman of the world, minding our business. All this liberating people stuff. I don't like it because why stop at Iran? Are we going to liberate the China people for the Chinese? Are we going to liberate the North Koreans? So it's like, why are we picking and choosing people who to liberate? And I already know what this is for, man. This is for the small hats, man. This is for Israel. There's no benefit for the United States to do this. You got Americans just fighting and dying for a foreign country. Israel visits the United States. 7 times Netanyahu came to the United States. 7 times to convince Trump to this war. I feel like Trump doesn't listen to his base. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. She's quiet. I know Tulsi Gabbard is not for this. I know Tulsi Gabbard is disappointed. You remember the last strike against Iran? Tulsi Gabbard, he reiterated Iran doesn't have a nuclear program. They asked Trump, your own man. What's her position again, man? National intelligence. You remember the name of her role, man? The head of the national intelligence. Whatever, man. They asked her. They said your own national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, stated there's no weapons of mass destruction, and Trump turns around and says, "I don't care what she says." So it's just like, then what the hell do you have one for? Like, whose intelligence are you listening to? Israel's a foreign countries. It's like the problem I have is, man, we go around, Republicans go around telling Democrats that. And it's true, you guys put illegal immigrants and immigrants above the American population. And yes, I do believe that's wholly true because Democrats are fighting and dying for these illegal immigrants. So that is very true. But then the same can be said with the Republican Party, man. We put Israel and foreign interests above our own people. Just think about it, Dinas. When it comes to Israel, this country does not help us fight any wars, man. We went to war with Iraq, no help. Libya, no help. Any war that we have, Israel doesn't help us. But for some reason, every time, man, like they launch some attack on Iran, we are the only country that got to get pulled in and involved in that war. And it doesn't make our country look strong because a small country like Israel should not have the power to move the United States into war. We should be telling them what to do. They should not have any power to move our country into war, but they do. And you know what I'm saying? And the small hats and AIPAC, they like to claim that they don't have any power over America, but seeing us in this long, protracted war, they obviously do. We do not know the consequences of this, man. We don't even know if we're going to get a better regime. We don't even know how far this is going to go. But what I will say is that if this economy doesn't get better, man, and we don't see any change in this immigration situation, and this war goes on through the midterms, man, I think that's a wrap, man. I think we could be in the age, in my personal opinion, of liberal Democrat rule, meaning the liberals are going to take over the House. I'm not sure if they'll take over the Senate, and they may even win 2028. And that's going to be a wrap, man. I feel like it's not worth it.
I do not see Gavin Newsom winning the presidency in 2028. Like it just, I don't see it. T.
Man, I don't know, man. The American people, like I said, the reason why I'm concerned, man, I don't know if you're noticing, but in these special elections, I know didn't they have an election in Georgia last year where a Democrat won a spot that was held by a Republican for years, and something like that happened similarly in Texas. And they're saying Democrat voter turnout is up.
1 second, T. Hey, Vovo, you got to get another device, Vovo. That's the link, Vovo. Your phone, Vovo. Like, don't calling on your Obama phone. That's the link. You see everybody else on here, they put the same link, Vovo. All right, go ahead, T.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Democrat voter turnout is up, and what we got to understand is Democrats are not voting on policy; they are voting on hatred of Trump. The problem is, and I truly believe the reason why the Republican turnout is not as high as the Democrat turnout, because unfortunately, I don't believe the Republican Party is delivering for their base. This is why I think that the Democrats are going to wipe us out. Unless Trump like does something amazing with this economy or something, or just, I think he really needs to end this war before the midterms. And I'm talking about within this month. I honestly cannot see the Republicans gaining power. We can no longer run this. We're not warmongers. And speaking of warmongers, didn't Trump just stay on the last State of the Union? And this is what gets me about him. He goes on the State of the Union and he says, I helped end 7 wars. I ended the Israel-Palestine war. I even ended the Iran and Israel war. But, I don't get a Nobel Peace Prize for that. And then 2 days later, he starts a war with Iran. So it's like, dude, man, you don't deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, man. And I voted for Trump. But no, he doesn't deserve no damn Nobel Peace Prize. He can't even end the Russia-Ukraine war. He won't stop funding Ukraine. He won't put he doesn't put no pressure on Israel, and he will not put any. I mean, he'll talk tough for Ukraine, but he keeps getting roped into funding Ukraine. He's not serious on ending any of the 2 major wars, the Ukraine war and whatever is going on in the Middle East. These are wars that can bring the entire world into it, and Trump has failed on both matters, man. So this is what just really pissed me off, man. I truly do think that the neocons are getting power back. They are in his ear. I think back when he was, going through trials, when he was running for president, when he was going to get locked up, I do think backroom deals was made with a bunch of Zionist neocons, probably saying, hey, if we do get you out of this situation and you become the president, and this is a theory. I don't know if this is a fact. This is a theory. If you become president, you have to go to war with Iran. I strongly believe he's been blackmailed into it because he is acting completely different from 2016, man. And yeah, man, it's just a disappointment, man.
Well, Trump has nothing to lose. This is his last term. He can just go out blazing, guns blazing. He has nothing to lose. And plus, this war didn't have any. He was done with the tariffs and the Epstein situation. He was done. He didn't need this war with Iran to just ruin the rest of his administration for the next 2 years, next 3 years. So he didn't need that. So he was done with the tariffs and the Epstein situation. So it was over for him. It was a wrap for him.
It is killing his base, man. Like you see his base going through a civil war. I mean, you got people like, you got Matt Walsh going after him. You got, Tim Pool, like, Tucker Carlson's, like the conservatives that were always with him from the beginning, losing Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're all like, just like, yo, I'm sick of this administration, man. Like he's even losing the social media influencers. And this is huge because we have to understand, Trump doesn't get any support from the mainstream media. They all hate him. I truly do believe without the internet, Trump wouldn't have won. Yeah, Fox, but Fox is a rhino network. I'm gonna be honest with you. Fox, if you remember 2016, Fox was not for Trump. Fox was for Rubio, Cruz. Even in 2024, I believe they were for Nikki Haley. It's only when those candidates loses that they are for Trump. But no, Fox is a rhino network. They are like anything but Trump. So the problem is if Trump is losing the social media, that's a wrap. But I do agree with what the other brother said. Yeah, he really doesn't have nothing to lose, but I feel like, and this is a problem I have with these boomers, like they don't have much time left on this planet. And they're screwing up and leaving us for us to clean it up. Like we're going to have to deal with these consequences. We don't know what it is, but we're going to have to deal with it. And what Trump also did that is making it hard now is, let's say another candidate runs in 2028. He's some billionaire. He funds his own campaign. He's not he doesn't come from politics. He's like, you know what? I'm going to end all these wars. I'm going to focus on the American people, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to question him because of what Trump did. Now we're going to raise our eyebrows, be like, man, is this guy sincere or what? Because Trump said the same thing and got into the White House and completely sold out to the small hats, man. Just completely sold out. You know, so yeah, man, I do agree, man. This is it for Trump. I hear you, Donis. I don't know if JD Vance can beat Trump, man. I feel like
You mean beat
unless
Newsom?
Newsom, excuse me, unless he can offer the country, not just the Republicans, he needs independence, some policy insincere, and we know it's not BS. I just think the Democrats are just too angry and too loud and too vocal that they're going to be more enthusiastic to vote than anybody. That's just my personal opinion on that.
Yeah, you're going to have to throw Rubio in the mix too with that.
I think
he wants to be president. He wants to be president. Him is spineless. I ain't going to use
yeah. And Rubio's a neocon. If you think about this, man, before Trump, none of these Republicans, including Rubio, they have no like charisma. They don't have that factor that Trump has to bring people out. Like Rubio is just scripted, man. Even if you watch him in the 2016 debates, man, he was very weak, man. He was a very weak candidate, man. So I don't know if Rubio is going to win. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. He like. It is honestly, have you ever listened to a Rubio speech and was like inspired or drawn to it, or like, man, no, exactly. He's not going to win. You can listen to a Trump speech. The reason why a Trump speech resonates because it's like, yeah, man, that makes sense, man. Yeah, man. It's like raw. Like, yeah, man, get their ass up out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's just. You can digest it. You cannot do that with Rubio, man. Rubio sounds like Mitt Romney. He's boring. That's what I'm saying, man. I hear you, Donis, but I don't know, man. I don't know if the Republicans have a charismatic character like Trump who can actually go up against the Democrats. The Democrats are going to talk about the economy, how ruthless Trump treated immigrants, how Trump said he was not going to end all these wars, and he got us in this war with Iran. That's assuming it's still going. Hopefully, it won't be by that time. But if it's still going, that's an L. I don't see how these Republicans can counter that. And the American people, man, go ahead.
Hey T, so Tuesday is the Democratic primary.
Oh yeah, I need to tell you about that, man. Yeah,
go ahead, real quick. I'm passing the ball. Do you think Crockett's going to win?
Crockett may not win the Senate, but she's definitely going to beat that Tellerico guy, man. She is up by double digits, man. What we have to know what this symbolizes, man. This symbolizes liberals don't want a compromise. They don't, Tellerico is one of those Democrats who would, reach across the aisle, so to speak. They don't want that, man. They want someone to come in and be straight up anti-Trump, anti-conservative. So Crockett is up double digits. Crockett will win. I don't think she'll beat Cornyn. I think she's at 45%. Cornyn is at 48%. I don't think she'll beat Cornyn, but she's definitely going to beat Tellerico for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead, Bobo.
You're talking about. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make sure I can be heard though, because this my phone that you said was Obama phone.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear it in your Obama phone.
Okay. Far as the war that's going on right now, who cares about them? But that's between Arabs and white people. That's how I feel about that part. But
they are Arabs, brother.
Huh?
They aren't Arabs, brother.
They what?
They're not Arabs.
I ain't even about to go down that road with you. Far as the prompt, the Democratic Party is shit. They literally turned the party into shit. This is now the party of the immigrant. All of their top guys got an immigrant background. Most, I'm gonna say 90% of the top guys in the I'm about to say the immigrant party, but might as well. The Democratic Party got immigrant backgrounds. You know what I mean? They really dumped off black people for the immigrants. This vote blue, no matter who thing, that's a real thing. That is for real. I live in a Democratic city. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. My mayor in Cleveland, Ohio, he fired. He not your traditional Democrat. He not like the new Democratic Party that they trying to bring in. The old Democratic Party that's in charge right now is the party of immigrants. I live around these people. I live in the neighborhood, a Democratic neighborhood. These people are really like, I'm sorry, but I live on the east side of Cleveland. Let me make this clear. Retarded, stupid, slow. What are you talking about? Like this party is like I live around the vote blue, no matter who people. They don't care. They got a real bad Trump problem to where they can't even listen to logic. Because Trump is the president, he's going to get us. This the talk. He's going to get us. It's almost getting us. Project 2025. It's 2026. What happened to Project 2025? He's getting us. I had one guy, old man that I used to respect. But he wanted to fight me. I'm young. I still got hands. He old man on the cane with a fucking boot on his foot. Talking about he wanted to fight. He wanted to rumble. Talking about Trump gonna get us and we gonna go into FEMA camps and we going back into slavery, y'all. We going back. They gonna get us in order. They gonna deport us. We gonna get deported to Haiti. Watch, because Haiti is, if you look at it, brother, Haiti is they black too, like us, like goofy. Kamala Harris, a black woman. She black. He kept doing this. She black like us. She got black skin. She got black skin. Stupid. Can't even listen to logic. Don't know what's going on.
Volvo, let me ask you a realistic question.
No, let me finish this, brother, because all you're going to do is just get into, you're going to do the same thing he did. So
I'm not a Democrat. I voted for Trump. I'm saying logically speaking.
Ask me in like 2 minutes, brother.
All right.
Deal. Cool. Goddamn, the Democratic Party, right, under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, had people from all over the world flying to our country with book bags. They was tearing up their documents, making up fake names, flying to the U.S. border with book bags. Nothing else in their possession, just a book bag with a pair of shoes, 3 pairs of jeans, and a T-shirt, and some deodorant. Flying to our country with book bags. The Democratic Party today is trash. How do we know that? Look what they did to the great state of Minnesota. Crashed it out. Tim Walz leaving office in disgrace. They let them folks come in there and just scam the whole shit. Kamala Harris left office in disgrace. She had to run a shitty campaign, a last minute effort campaign because Joe Biden left office in disgracefully. He was too old. They ran anything. Joe Biden had no business being the president. Joe Biden was an auto pen. He was a walking auto pen. Joe Biden was a rubber stamp. He left office in disgrace. Eric Adams left office in disgrace. Yeah. Now look at Mandani. He talked all this, we're going to make the supermarkets free and supermarkets going to be ran by the city. Now he begging for money. The Democrats did all this whining about these fucking about this what they did all this whining about the Epstein files, y'all. We need the Epstein files, Trump and pedo and Epstein files and all that. Yesterday, 2 days ago, they brought the Epstein files out, right? 2 days ago, they had to dig up Hillary Clinton and she got a deposition. They backfired. Talk about the backfire. These people don't know. They have literally crashed out the Democratic Party. This is my last point. This ain't the same party of Obama. Obama, in my opinion, was basically, I'm going to say basically, Obama was a lame duck president. But Obama, at least he had common sense. He knew how to sit still and wing it and just go through the motions. The last Democrats that was in office, they crashed it out. They let white supremacy get back in power, where white supremacists were the better option. Open white supremacists, they both white supremacists, but open white supremacists get back in power. The Democratic Party is trash. Let me say this. What's going on right now, when you look at us, we're not red or blue. We are purple. Appreciate you letting me speak.
So what I was saying, look, I hear you about the Democrats. I don't want them to win, but I think we got to be realistic, man. I hear you say what's going on in Iran is white people stuff. But I mean, to divorce foreign policy from the economy is a huge mistake, because if this long war goes longer than what it is, we're going to have to borrow a lot of money or print a lot of money, which is going to hurt the dollar, which is going to raise prices. I'm hearing Iran is going to close the Straits of Hormuz. This is where a lot of oil ships and cargo go through. That can affect prices, man. So we can't ignore that and just say, that's white people stuff. Because what I'm saying is, if the American people get desperate, meaning if the economy gets real bad for some people and they don't like the direction the Republicans and the Trump administration going, I do agree with you, man. They may vote for the Democrats regardless of what the Democrats stand for, but out of desperation and something new, the Democrats may still get in, even though I think that is the worst option. I'm in agreement with you. So what I'm saying is there any criticism that you can give to Trump or what he's doing or his foreign policy to avoid something like that happening?
I got major criticism.
Hold on, Teddy. Go ahead, Vovo.
I got major criticism for Trump. I don't like what Trump did with South Africa. I don't like that. I don't like Trump getting up on the national stage and praising what's the guy's name that got hit in the neck?
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, Trump's a racist. Let's be clear. White people racist. I don't know if y'all get that. I don't know if you're on that type of level to understand that white people racist. It's part of their identity. It's part of their culture. Fools. But you mentioned if this war goes too long. Do you think they're gonna let the war go too long? Don't you know they got satellites over these people? Don't you know they got all the best bombs ever in the history?
It's a big country, man.
What'd you say?
No, I'm saying it's a big country, man. What is it, guy? What's the population size? Y'all, it's like 90 million people or something.
I'm gonna go 10 more seconds. I promise. I'm gonna go 10 more seconds. They got all the best bombs. The bunker buster, the Hellfire missile. They got satellites flying over that shit right now. You think they're gonna let it go too long to where it hurt the economy, the Strait of Hormuz? They don't care nothing about no Strait. You think they ain't factoring this shit in? Or are you looking at the resume? They got satellites flying over that. Them people can't do nothing.
The resume is elongated wars, brother.
We could be debating back and forth on that, but I saw Brandon get in, man. I'm gonna let him.
Oh no, but let me pass it back. Let me pass it to Teddy real quick. But Teddy, you were about to bring up something about the election.
Okay. So
Crockett and oh boy.
Yeah, about the immigrant situation. Everybody else, this is what I understand about some black folks that be thinking, well, legal or illegal immigration is bad. A part of those immigrants are black folks. Now, everybody else, well, I'll say specifically the Mexicans are trying to get more of their people in, regardless, documented, undocumented, it didn't make any difference because they understand their strength in numbers. What we do as black folks, or some of us, black folks, we trying to keep black folks out. They try to get more of their people in, regardless of whether they're legal or not. They want more black because they are more Mexican specifically because they know their strength in numbers, and black folks don't get that. Black folks, they're not getting that.
The problem with your statement is that Trump got a lot of, I think he got the most Latino votes a Republican ever got.
And they regret it.
So,
and they regret it.
No, but you got to understand, that was a major thing Trump ran on, was ending illegal immigration, man. Even all the Latino Republicans in the Senate was behind him on that. I think you are wrong on that, man. They're not for that illegal immigration situation. Because if so, Kamala Harris would have went completely over the Latino vote if that was the case.
They regret because of what he's doing with immigration.
Listen,
do you think they're gonna vote for him the next, or any Republican in the midterms or the next general election?
Man, we got a lot of Republicans in Texas in the House, man. We got Anna Paulina. Even Ted Cruz is like some what is he, like Mexican or something?
No,
like, man, there's
Hey guys, let me pass the mic to Brandon.
The problem with your statement, these so-called black people are Mexicans too. They the same as a Mexican. They act like Mexicans. They don't come over here and ally with black folks.
I'll go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Dynas, can you hear me okay?
I hear you.
Okay, so, Dynas, some black people just hate success, right? If you're successful about anything, with anything, they're going to hate on you. You got people on here talking against Trump like Trump did something to directly hurt them when Trump did something that's going to help everybody in the long run. If Iran was able to get a nuclear weapon, there's a good chance that they might launch it or use it as leverage to do all sorts of stuff, right? That affects our kids who live in America. These dudes just sit up and point out every bad thing that Trump did, which is debatable. Do you hear these dudes making one criticism of the Ayatollah Khomeini and all the stuff he was doing? No. And that's when you know someone is suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. A person who looks at the police and what they do to the criminal versus what the criminal is doing that's hurting the community. It's so crazy to me how violence, all types of stuff overruns the black community. Black people make excuses for it or say nothing at all. As soon as Trump does something to someone halfway around the world, oh my God, the sense of justice is restored. I love everybody. Most of these dudes don't even pay their child support, Dinus. Understand that. Their kids would die if it wasn't for the federal government, but they got all these criticisms. Trump put that dude on a shirt where he belonged. He was an 86-year-old man. I doubt if he was even making the decisions for that country on a day-to-day basis. And he died for all the stuff he was saying. People in America don't chant death to Iran every morning before school before they eat their Wheaties. People in Iran do. I have a lot of Iranian or Persian friends. In California, there's a huge community of Persians in Irvine and different areas.
In Westwood.
Even in Westwood, they're all over. They'll tell you, hey, this guy saved our people. Their family members are still over there. So I have to take, I have to criticize, or I have to just take it with a grain of salt when an African-American person says something, because we have no skin in the game. We so busy trying to turn against each other, we don't have no room to comment on nobody else. Trump is getting rid of the enemies of America. We're trying to get rid of the people we should be bringing in to be our allies. Some guy out here said, oh, Africans act like Mexicans. Oh, no, they just don't act like lazy N-words, bro. They don't act entitled. They go to work. They get off their butt and go get some money. If you say that's what acting like a Mexican is, then you need to act like a Mexican. Black people got so much morality, bro. There's this street in Los Angeles called Figueroa. I watch black dudes on the internet screaming how Trump is this and everybody is this and trafficking and everything else. Whole time I'm thinking, some of these dudes I know for a fact sent some girls over to that street. Other dudes buying stuff off of that street. And if they're not buying or sending, they're not doing anything about the trafficking that's happening right in front of their face on a day-to-day basis. There is a whole stroll in every community, black community in America. The black men have never mobilized to shut it down and stop the trafficking there. That's how you know that all this stuff is hypocrisy, Dinus. I'm glad Trump got rid of that dude. The people of the country are glad Trump got rid of the dude. And the best thing is Trump is now exposing years of how this government operated. Trump is getting stuff done in a matter of hours that Obama or Bush would have dragged out for 10, 20, 30 years. So they can get
Brandon, that was my original point. And I was having this conversation with a friend of mine earlier today. Trump took this dude out in 5 hours. The guy in Venezuela was detained in 2 hours.
Right.
Under Obama, under Biden, under Bush. This would drag out for 5 or 10 years. I was saying that earlier today.
Hey, 20 years so they could keep sending money to their weapons manufacturing buddies, Diners. You cannot, the black man and woman are not going to get ahead until they stop being intellectually
you stop the conversation. You're eating.
Can you stop talking? I'm actually not eating at all. I'm not eating at all. Anyway, man, shut up, man. You stupid. See how black folks try to deflect. See how black folks try to deflect from
you didn't want anybody interrupting you. Let them talk.
Right. See how black folks try to deflect from the conversation? What I'm telling you is this. Until the black man and woman decide to start being honest about things, we're never going to move ahead as a people, because these dudes sit here, they lie. They know they're lying, but they'll keep saying it, hoping that somebody will throw them a lifeline, shoot them some bail and agree with them. No, we like Trump. Trump is the best president in our lifetime getting things done. The only people who doesn't like Trump is a lazy bum who don't even take care of his kids or don't have a family or just hates everybody because he hates himself. And we're not buying it. You guys don't control the narrative anymore. We got these phones, they're computers, they give us information. We don't got to listen to old grandpa at the damn barbershop no more. We can go search for ourselves. And there's nothing you can identify that Trump has done that hurts black people directly or even indirectly. You're just a hater and you're going nowhere and you're going to get exactly what you put in. Nothing. So keep thinking like that, bro. I hope you don't spread that nonsense to your children because they're going to end up just like you.
Let me read this super chat.
What-
Cameroon Breezy Goat
an
903.
idiot,
Thank you
man.
for $1.99 holla. I hate libs, but Trump is an idiot. Iran is no joke. Vovo, you got 30 seconds. I'm passing the mic. The mic kind of mine.
Bucci, you would make a lot of money on Figueroa with them big ass titties.
All right, go ahead, my kind of mine.
Hey, good night, guys. So,
Hey, hello.
hey, I had to call in. So I was loving Vovo. Like Vovo had me feeling like I didn't even need to call in because you were there. But I just have so much to say because some of this with Trump, they want to happen, you know? They want to create chaos. They want us to hate Trump. They want everyone to turn against Trump and then impeach him. This is 1 year in. The Democrats are not even working. Like they're literally every day getting up to hate Trump, slander Trump. And it's just kind of crazy because this is the brainwash. So somebody said it, like the black people need to come together because like we can't vote Democrat the next time it come around. Like it can't be the same plan where they make us hate Trump and then we run back to the Democrats. We're too smart. We're smarter than that, guys. You know, but there's a side of it where I do see that Trump, you know, and I could be honest to say it seems like the White House is compromised because something about the war with Iran feels like it would have happened if we had a Democrat in the White House. Some of it just seems like somebody is in his ear and we kind of know who, and I'm going to bring it back there, Netanyahu. And I think we should talk about that. Like, and I'm not even going to call Netanyahu Israel because like Israel, you know, I'm just going to get into that a little later. But I think Netanyahu is in Trump's ear. So he's pushing for this war with Iran. And I just feel like there is a piece of it where he's protecting America. So sure, if there was a threat that they was going to bomb us or something, because I'm here in America. So if there's a threat, Trump is big on America first, but with his friendship with Netanyahu, it's seeming like Israel first, America second, you know? So you start this war with Iran, they may come back and bomb us. Like you say you killed the president, whether you killed the president or not, the fact that you bombed them is like a move of aggression. Like you won a war, somebody's going to come back. Iran is friends with somebody. Somebody's going to come back. So that's putting America in danger. So that's where I just feel like Trump, like, come on, who made you do that? And then I just feel like, and that's why us Trump lovers, because that didn't make me hate Trump, but I'm like, come on, Trump, I love you for being you, for making your own moves, right? Not making somebody else push you to do something.
What would you have preferred Trump to do?
No, well, Brandon, here's why I disagree
Y'all
with you because
monopolizing the conversation, bro.
yeah, but
I'm just
Brandon,
asking you a question, bro.
disagree with you, bro.
Hey, shut your mouth.
Brandon, saying that Iran was
Hold
getting.
on. My kind of mind. Are you done? My kind of mind.
I'm not done, but
asking her a
I
question.
can let my brother speak. I can let my
Can
brother
she
speak.
answer the question? Can she answer the question? What would she have preferred to be done? Because you gotta have another alternative.
Well,
Okay,
could have
I
did
can
nothing.
answer.
He could have minded
I
his own
can
business.
answer. I can answer
Let her answer. Go ahead. My kind of
the
mind.
answer because let's look at Zelensky, Ukraine, and Russia. What if Zelensky, and again, guys, I love Trump. I still love Trump. I'm still rooting for Trump. So none of what I just said is like to bash him. I still stand with Trump, but I just got to keep it real. Just like I don't like the Democrats anymore. I got to keep it real. So let's say that Zelensky took this Trump mindset. Russia's coming to get some of Ukraine. Russia want to take back some of Ukraine. Let me bomb Russia. Let me take Putin out. No, we would have been so mad.
Zelensky doesn't have the capability to do that. You're ignorant of geopolitical capabilities.
That's another conversation.
There have been multiple attempts on Putin's life as well too.
Hold on. Let her finish. Goodness, I just
No, and he's right. Like Ukraine is buying weapons from everyone, so he's right. They're supporting Ukraine through this war, all because they hate Putin. And I also like Putin. So what I'm trying to say is, like, we can't have the fog glass on like the Democrats. Like, the Democrats aren't seeing that they're crazy. The Democrats aren't seeing that they're not doing anything for their states, anything for their people, but think they're doing something because they fighting against Trump. They're like, that's bad that they're doing that and they're not seeing it. But I could be honest to say, Trump, like, you're really pulling a gangster move here. Like, I get that you're protecting America, but like, what? Were they bombing us today? Was there like something where the bomb was like launching today and you had to take them out? Because to me, it's just like I said, it's a move of aggression. And
you have the mindset of a 15-year-old girl. You have the mindset of a 15-year-old girl. Wait till the missiles are in the air, then do something. Lady, freaking, what are you doing with your life? You don't wait till someone starts launching missiles, then do something about it. You don't wait till the nuke is headed in your direction to then do something about it. Come on,
Brandon, didn't can we go in order and have the bring the coin back? Because instead of everybody just interrupting, because then people just monopolizing the conversation.
Yeah, but like people are.
I'm trying not to disrespectfully interject when other people are talking, but
but people are ignoring that Netanyahu said 10 years ago Iran is 90 days away from the bomb. They've been saying that for over 20 years. Brandon, you have to see the propaganda in this, man. This is not an America first war. This is an Israel first war. Because you have to concede to the point that Netanyahu came to the United States 7 times to talk the American people into this conflict.
Israel is a United States proxy. It's not Israel. The United States, propped up Israel for strategic reasons. Israel is not dictating any terms.
You don't understand.
What the American people don't want to do is fight and die for Israel.
Israel is not dictating any terms. The United States is.
My question is, what Americans have died for Israel? Israel is doing the majority of the stuff. They even led the strikes. What you don't get is, wait a minute, bro. What you don't understand is when bombs get launched, they can reach Israel. So every time Iran gets hit, they shoot a bomb and it hits Tel Aviv. Wait a minute. Can you shut up for 1 second?
Geopolitics, man.
We got to. Let me pass it to Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
Oh God.
All right. Thank you, Dinus, and hello to the panel in the chat. Look, I'm going to do something that I rarely do. I'm going to give T. Khalik a shout out. At least he's being consistent. I listened to him when he was supporting Trump before the elections. One of his biggest thing was Trump said no more new wars. No more new wars. So at least he's being consistent in that position that he's holding Trump to account for starting what might seem to be another war. So shout out to T. Khalik for being consistent. Look.
Why do you guys let this narrative of there's a war started? There's no war. No one declared war.
Respect the platform? Let the people that talk, man.
Come on, let Elvis just got started. But Brandon,
no wars happened.
Brandon, chill out. But Brandon does have a point. There was no war declared. Go ahead, Elvis. It's a special operation.
It doesn't have to be a declared war. To commit an act of war, you don't have to declare war.
Special operation. Go ahead, Elvis.
Okay. Yeah, so I think what's going on, a lot of Trump supporters are looking at it and they're disappointed. For me personally, although I'm a liberal, I'm not always against, military action.
You support pedophiles.
You have no self-discipline, man.
No, let's keep it real. You're a liberal. You support
man. Let him talk, man.
Let Elvis talk, Brandon. Everybody. Go ahead, Elvis.
Right. So I do think some military actions is necessary if it protects the United States national security interests. But I think a lot of Trump supporters thought that, being America first and not being involved on the international stage, especially when it comes to armed conflicts, he was the best, option for that. But we've seen what happened since he got into power. He's been involved on the international stage in taking military action, whether it's, bombing Iran, for a few days, or getting Maduro and other things that he's done, bombing Nigeria, even though it wasn't, an active military zone that he bombed. But my point here is that I respect the people who are being consistent from their previous position of supporting Trump, because one of the reasons was that he wasn't going to start wars and he was going to be non-interventionist and be America first.
Hey, Elvis, I want to put on record though. Kamala Harris still sucked. Go ahead.
No, that's fine, Dennis. We can't go back and rewind time, but I'm just giving props to those people. So for people like Brandon who love Trump, which is fine. These actions.
Man, this dude said the same thing 4 times. Can we move on?
Okay. I'll pass
Nobody
the mic.
interrupted you while you were speaking.
I don't want to argue. I think the argument makes it.
Go ahead.
The argument argues for itself, Dennis. I'll pass the mic. I don't want to fight tonight.
The argument is based on a complete lie.
Brandon, listen, I love you, my brother. You my brother, Brandon. I respect you, but you need some decorum, please. Out of respect for me, Brandon, do not interrupt again, please. It gets annoying after a while because I'm trying to hear Elvis. Just chill out. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah, just one last thing, yo. I'm gonna say this to those people who support Trump, in the Republican Party. Look, if this escalates into a war,
it is a war.
There's a lot of things that's gonna happen that's gonna affect us here domestically. And again, maybe I'm being hyperbolic, but I don't know if the 2026 election is gonna happen. It's probably gonna be martial law. A lot of things may come down the line because we're in war. Not martial law, but I forgot what it's called. But something where, since the country is at war, we got to focus on fighting the war, and we can't have elections. So those, I said I might be being hyperbolic, but
that is martial law.
Okay.
No,
so
but Elvis.
Hold on. Let Elvis finish. Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah. So I don't want to be too, I'm going to leave it at Donnie's. My point. Why I stand politically. So I don't want to get too involved with this conversation. But I'll leave it there.
All right, go ahead. After.
My question for everybody.
No. It's Africa's turn. Go ahead after.
Yeah, greetings, Dinest. I'm having some fry. I don't know if you had fry when he was back home. Fry.
No, I thought you said crane originally. We said fry. I haven't.
No, I had crane before. Yeah, that was earlier, but now I'm eating fry.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I think I saw this coming. I had deja vu. I just had a funny feeling Trump is going to do it. Just like what he did in Venezuela. He's going to surprise people. And the first brother that spoke, I don't know what's his name. Is that Wapko? I totally agree. This is Abrahamic wars. We shouldn't get involved in it too much. It's not going to benefit none of us. What's happening there in the long run is going to affect all of us. But it's a bit of a weird coincidence. Not long ago, Iran was in Burkina Faso, trying to help the brothers fighting Islamic terrorism. And all of a sudden, boom, this happened. And I think it's one of the first senior major trade deal Iran actually engaged in the continent in Black Africa. And this is happening now. And then at the back door, you have the US also trying to sign trade deal with the AES and other African countries. It seems like they don't want anyone to come near us, and they don't want any country to have any deal with Iran, which Iran, obviously, we know it was a sanctioned country for that long, and they managed to be quite resilient for a sanctioned country like North Korea, and for example, Russia has been sanctioned, but it's still quite resilient. And one thing that surprised me a little bit, the West, they tend to go for the majority Shia countries where, these Muslims tend to be quite liberal, actually. They're more liberal compared to the Sunni or the Wahhabi, type of Islam, which I think majority of the population have problem with, with the extremism and stuff like that. So it makes me wonder, 1 minute Trump is boasting of, putting an ISIS leader in Syria, but then he finds someone in Iran who is a Shia Muslim who are a bit more liberal as a bigger threat. So sometimes their policies doesn't make sense. Their foreign policies, that's a topic for another day. And I'll leave you guys to think about that. And
go ahead, Africa.
Yeah,
you done?
Yeah, sorry, Dennis.
And can we go in reverse order when he's finished?
Yeah.
Well, let me do this. I'm gonna pass it to Teddy. Then I'm gonna let Brandon retort. Then I pass it to you, Wagbo. Then my kind of mind. But so go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, my question is for everybody. It's a kind of a rhetorical question. What has Iran done to America?
Let Brandon answer. Go ahead, Brandon. Hold on, let me mute.
Iran has done everything from kidnap Americans. They damn near held hostage some soldiers just a couple years back. But the biggest thing is Iran makes their children in the morning before school chant death to America. I know people from Iran, and they will tell you that regime is not good. That's what I don't like. A bunch of Africans and a bunch of Black Americans speaking on things out of ignorance. These people on here, Dinus, they don't know anything about this situation. They have not done the research. They hate America. Therefore, anybody who is against America, they support that person. Iran will not. They're not going to show you any favor. If America was not around, Dinus, I want you to answer this question for me, Dinus. If America was not around, do you have any doubt that countries like Iran, Russia, and all these countries wouldn't just invade Africa and take every single piece of natural resources? They would do it in an east. They would do it.
You are delusional.
Dinus,
let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish.
It's just like this, Dinus. Black folks have sit up and praise China over America. We got video of Chinese people beating and abusing Africans, bro. But they'll pretend like that's not real so that they could just continue to hate America.
Well, we not enslaved.
Listen, man. Bro, it ain't about slavery. See, the black man can only go to joking when you bring up facts. What we know is that these other countries, they get into Africa and they abuse African people. America is probably the only reason why a lot of these African countries haven't been totally invaded and exploited for natural resources. But you hate America. But what I know is the Africans on the ground, they look at America as a support system. That's why you have Nigeria and other countries working with America to get rid of Islamic terrorism. Listen, Iran is the #1 sponsor of terrorism in the world. So when you look at Sahel and you look at the terrorists over there, understand a lot of their support is coming from Iran. So if Iran supports,
that's not true.
Let me finish.
That's not true, man. You just out here lying, man.
Can I finish my point? Can I finish my point? Listen. If Iran cares so much about black folks, why doesn't Iran call on Libya, another Muslim country? Hey, stop that slave trade. Why don't they tell the Muslims in the Sahel, hey, you guys need to stop trying to invade those cities? Iran don't have no good plans for Africa. Muslims operate damn near in a hive mind. If they exploit you, they pretend like one is on your side, one is not. If that's the case, why haven't they helped you yet? They said, what has Iran done to America? Tell me what Iran has done for Africa. They trade with, they go way to Venezuela to make oil deals and all types of deals with Venezuela. They don't move into Nigeria to make no deals. They only go towards the people who support their regime with no questions asked. Africans have an eat for today mindset, Dinus. You know this walking around the continent. An African wait till he get right up on his front porch, then he decides to react. That's just the way a lot of us are built. They sit up, they act like nothing. There's a thing in Africa, Dinus, you say like, man, this person might do this. They'll say this, they can't. And then you say to them, well, why can't they? And there's no answer. That is the way African brains are wired. They believe that
Brandon, 30 seconds. I gotta pass the mic.
Okay. They believe that someone won't do something because it's just so bad. But guess what? You've had 400 years of slavery to tell you everything you think they won't do, they will do. So why would you trust any Middle Eastern person after they had the Arab slave trade, because a lot of African people do not learn from history. They sit up, well, they don't know it, most of all, and then when you tell it to them, they don't want to believe you. Iran will enslave Africans in a heartbeat. You know how I know? Because they'll kill 37,000 of their own people like it's nothing in the street. You think?
What a stupid contradictory argument.
Please let me answer that question.
What a
I would
dumb
love
dude is an
to
idiot,
answer.
man.
When was the last country Iran invaded? Please tell me, what country has Iran invaded in the last
What
100
country?
years?
What country can they invade? They invaded Iraq.
Exactly.
They
No,
invaded
Brandon, you
Iraq.
made the point that they would invade Africa. And Brandon, it seems like you are ignoring history. Iran has been invaded by Iraq, supported by the United States. They have never launched a military aggressive war you will have to go by like over 100 years to find out who they invaded. So I think you are being very hyperbolic and you're repeating a lot of neocon war propaganda,
Why would they?
and you
Why
are
would they?
ignoring the
Why
coup
would
that was
they need to
happening in Iran.
Why would they need to invade when they were favorable to the West? What I'm telling you is, when the United States hit Iran, Iran started bombing other Muslim countries. They
No,
have
they're
no
bombing
loyalty.
American military
Oh my
bases,
God!
Brandon. You got to be
Bro,
consistent, bro. I
man,
respect you,
listen.
bro, but they're
T.
bombing
Khalid,
American military
Iran
bases.
did invade Azerbaijan briefly in the early 2000s. So they did invade Azerbaijan.
Bro,
For a
up
little.
until the Ayatollahs took
I'll
over,
look into
Iran
that,
was
bro.
favorable to the West. Iran was with the West, aligned with the West totally. When the Ayatollahs took over, when the Ayatollahs took over, when the Ayatollahs took over. Okay, well, but just tell me this: if the Ayatollahs are so good, why did Iranian citizens lose so many rights when they took over? Women couldn't go to
Brandon,
school,
Who
couldn't
said they
drive,
were
couldn't
good?
read.
Brandon, they
Who
took
said they
over
were
because
good?
the hold on. The U.S.-backed Iranian dictator was a brutal dictator. They
No,
overthrew
he was
him.
not.
He was
The
No, he
killing
Shah,
a
was
lot
yes,
of
he
not.
his
was,
citizens,
man.
The
Yes, he
Shah
doing a
was
was.
lot
not a
of
brutal
very
The Shah
dictator.
brutal
was a
things.
brutal dictator,
So
man.
yes,
They
Listen,
Saddam
deposed
man.
Hussein
Mossadegh.
He
was a brutal
wasn't a
All
brutal
dictator,
the
bro.
dictator.
citizens love Mossadegh.
You
They
have to
deposed him
Listen,
understand that,
His
bro.
because he wasn't going to
proclivity,
capitulate to him.
his
these
profligacy was
people,
what led him to be
these
removed. He spent the
these
money
people,
unwisely.
these people don't even know what they're talking about. Iranians had the most rights and were on par with Western nations when
Yeah,
the Shah
Yeah,
was
that's
in
with
Iran
charge.
was a
This is
secular
a
Mossadegh.
fact.
democracy under the
U.S.-backed
Shah.
dictator.
That
This
was
is a
with
fact.
Mossadegh.
They did not want
This
to
is a
deal with the
No,
Shah,
no,
though.
on a
Brandon.
Pahlavi, they were a secular country. They were a secular
Hey,
nation.
go
Brandon,
reread your history,
we
bro.
would
Iran was
overthrow
at the
Trump
head.
if he was killing
But
people
Dennis, can
just
I answer the question,
en
please?
masse,
Just
man.
30
Well, hold
No,
on,
seconds.
hold
you
on.
wouldn't do shit.
Hold on. Let me pass it to Wogbo, and then I want to make sure my kind of mind gets a shot. Go ahead, Wogbo.
Nah, this just most of these sentiments just display the pure naivety that these people exploit, and this is why they easily execute their agendas, bro. People still get caught up in this stupid partisan politics. Like, foreign policy is not dictated by any direct individual. It's these corporations have more influence on it than these individual people that are in these parties. They're not autonomous. The head of state is going off the interests of the powers that be. They have interests that are already preconceived. They do have certain policies that they can individually influence, but for the most part, they're just going with the flow. If Kamala Harris would have got in, like I said from the onset, it would be the same type of foreign policy approach with Iran, because she has ties with Israel, and this government propped up Israel to be its intermediary in the Levant. So it's stupid. Falling for this dumb stuff, this partisan stuff, it's dumb. Like, it really makes no sense.
I agree with you.
Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, it's gonna be little minutia that differs, but for the most part, it's nothing drastically gonna be different. And what he's talking about as far as aligning with America based as opposed to Iran, like we have direct relationships with these people. We know how they act in the United States. Iran hasn't done nothing to black people, but nobody's sitting up there acting like there's some bashing of positivity. It's just that the United States doesn't respect anybody's autonomy. If you go with their interests, you can be a despot, you can be a tyrant. They'll put you in place. If you for your people and you go against their interests, they're gonna try to kill you. It just is what it is. So,
Or if you chat death to America every morning.
yeah, but they wouldn't that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened if they deposed. If they never deposed Mossadegh, they would have never had it would have never transitioned from the Shah to the Ayatollah.
You can't
They create these problems. They create these problems, and then it snowballs. Then they have to come in and act like they're a solution. It's the Hegelian dialectic, but it's run of the mill. It's the run of the mill strategic strategy that they use, brother. It's all.
Hey guys, let me pass the mic
Well,
to my
Trump got rid of it.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. I'm
Thank
pass it
you. Let me jump in right now and try to let us look at it from a different view. Because what the gentleman just said is like 100% right. It's not even Democrat, Republican anymore. It's because, like he said, if Kamala won, God forbid, if Kamala won, this whole Iran thing probably would have still happened, and maybe even sooner. Okay, so that's something for us to just step back and look at. If like people who didn't agree with the war voted for Trump, we expected him to end wars, not join something like this, but somehow we're still doing this, like ICE going crazy on the illegal immigrants. I'm not for that, but just the forcefulness of ICE. Now this is the second bombing on Iran. Whatever he did, capturing the Venezuelan president, it's just like those things, like I just want us to step back, right? It's not Democrat, Republican anymore. So I do think maybe we need a new party, but that's a bigger picture. But what I want us to look at also is, could the deep state be involved? Because I do think the agenda of the left, or maybe of the deep state, remember Trump was like against the deep state. That was one of the things, or one of the reasons why we like Trump. He like stood up to the bad guys. Not was one of them. He was supposed to stand up to them, go against it. But somehow it seemed like it got in, or somehow it's like pushing things, because someone said something about like a lockdown. If whatever info was given to push this bombing on Iran, unless it was imminent, Brandon, because I hear what Brandon is saying. If there was literally an attack on America for today, and they had to do that, then I totally understand. But if it was faulty
Why would you wait for them to attack you?
let me finish.
Why would you
Can
wait
I
for someone to
finish?
attack you?
Brandon, I'm not going against you. I'm trying to say, like, if it was that imminent, then I'm okay with Trump doing it.
What
But
you're
if
saying
it,
makes no sense.
Can I
Nobody's
finish?
gonna tell you.
Let her finish. I gotta pass the mic to
But
Elvis.
but if it was faulty,
You got 30 seconds, so I gotta pass it to Elvis.
okay, but if it was faulty information, like from the deep state trying to let something start so that a lockdown could happen, or something to just interrupt Trump's presidency or his agenda, we just have to think a little bigger, because this is literally 1 year. All of this in 1 year.
Sister, it sounds like you have been brainwashed. I'm sorry.
She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
That's not how things operate, and geopolitically speaking, you're speaking emotionally.
Let me pass it to Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
Trump been out around since 2016.
Go ahead, Elvis.
Thank you, Donis. Look, Iran is not innocent here, right? The thing people have to understand is that Iran is a Shia country. It's two branches of Islam, Shia and Sunni. And Iran tends to support Shia militia groups like Hezbollah, like Hamas, and Hamas is not really a Shia group, but they support Hamas in Palestine. So they have been supporting terrorist group, one of those being Hezbollah, which is right on the border with Israel. And of course, they've had a lot of support for Hamas. So the problem here is that Iran is Israel's problem, really.
Thank you.
More so than the United States problem. But because Trump is so tied to Israel, some people feel like he might be compromised with some information. That's why he's doing this, but I won't get into that. But I think the fact that he's going so hard for Israel, the United States has historically supported Israel, usually when they've been attacked by their neighbors. The war, the 6-day wars and subsequent wars with Egypt. They've always supported Israel, but usually as a defense mechanism. The United States do not have a mutual security or defense treaty with Israel, where it's like NATO, where if somebody attacks them, they go to war. It's like attacking one person means you're attacking all of us. They don't have that kind of, agreement with Israel. So the fact that we are attacking Iran based on probabilities is way off base for the United States, foreign security interests. For example, Netanyahu in 1996 said that Iraq was like a year away from getting a nuclear bomb. And he propagated and used propaganda and got the United States to, invade Iran. And we all realized that was a lie. They talked about it a few years ago during Obama's time that they got the bomb. They're going to build a bomb within the next year. That never materialized. So I think a lot of Americans are waking up to the fact that they're using propaganda to get you to support a war that's probably going to be on false pretense. So if you're telling us that they can attack us, Iran has never attacked the United States, even in the Middle East, unprovoked. They've always had, retaliatory strikes when the United States attack them. And usually they tell them in advance that we're going to attack this base. The United States know what's going to happen. They take their troops out and they attack the base or wherever station the United States is at in the Middle East. So for me, I think this greater Israel plan where Israel wants to take more land. This has come out with that Tucker Carlson interview with Mike Huckabee, that Israel wants to take more land than they have right now. And in order to do that, they have to weaken Iran severely, put a puppet government there that's not going to retaliate when they start taking land from Syria, places from Lebanon, and maybe even going into Egypt and taking some land there too. It's going to be only Iran that can, really fight them. So for me, I didn't think Trump was going to be the guy, but it might be his hands are tied. I don't like Trump, you guys know that, but I think he's in a tough spot right now. He's probably got compromised on it, by some of the things that was in that file, and maybe he's being pressured to do things that he really doesn't want to do. Like he said, sometimes you just gotta attack. He said it on his Truth Social. Who says that? President never says sometimes you just gotta go for it and attack. I think his hands is being controlled, and it's unfortunate for him and his policy. And I think for us, who live in the United States, if this gets too crazy, financially the country's gonna suffer. Geopolitically, we're gonna probably suffer. So I'm not for this, this conflict. But thank you, Don. Thank you for
Brother, you are being naive, man. Israel is a vassal of the United States. Exactly. That's why Iran.
Israel's not a vassal of the United States.
Yes, they are. They are a vassal of the United States.
More so now because Trump is there. But during Obama time, Israel wasn't a vassal for the United States. I think it does depend on who's in power and who's willing to go the extra mile.
Israel is the United States watchdog in the Middle East. They fight the shit in the Middle East, so we don't have to. Who of you is going to send your son to the Middle East to fight in the Middle East? None of you. So Israel fights on our behalf.
We have to fight in the Middle East. We never have to.
Israel does it for us.
This is a historical fact. They don't.
What was the Middle Eastern?
Bro, I know more Israeli troops
before Israel was created. We have
Guidance. I know more Israeli troops than any of these people. They will tell you we are the United States watchdog in the Middle East. That's why whatever they ask for.
We don't need them.
Yeah, so our troops don't have to go over there.
You're naive, man.
Anything, bro.
You speak emotionally, man. That's why you
over here fighting Iraq, Syria,
back up what you're saying with facts, man. You're speaking emotionally.
How many more people we gonna have to fight on behalf of Israel? Nah, bro. We gotta deal with their damn APEC lobby blackmailing us.
What we give Israel is pennies on the dollar compared to what it would cost for the United States to maintain a massive force in the Middle East.
Brandon, who is Israel to be a vassal, man?
Brandon, who is
this is common knowledge, man. Like I
don't know. Jonathan Pollard.
Jonathan Pollard was a Jew born in America, but did the worst espionage on the United States history. He sold nuclear secrets to the Soviets. No, excuse me, to Israel on behalf, and then Israel sold it to the Russians. Soviets. Do you understand? That's not an ally. What about the USS Liberty? When Israel bombed, what did they do? I think they bombed like an American ship that was headed towards Egypt or something. And because all of the Americans didn't die, they couldn't blame it on Egypt. What I'm saying is that Israel does things to pull us into the Middle East, into that conflict. They are not some state sitting there surrounded by a bunch of Muslims who want to kill them. Because of their creation and because of them aggressive to their neighbors, we got to keep getting involved in their shit. Look at them. Just look at this.
The United States popped them up to be a nation.
Is right on that point. He's
do you not understand?
He's contradicting himself. The United States popped them up to be a functional nation, and their main military is under them.
Do you not understand how many? Do you guys not understand how much resources we're pulling out of the Middle East? You guys act like the United States is not up to no good too. Yeah, they're up to no good because they want what the Middle East has. They want oil. They want secured energy. And that's what the Israelis help the United States do. Hey, keep an eye on these dudes. Make sure they ain't up to nothing crazy. And if they are, let us know. And we going to back you up and come to knock they shit down. That's what happens, bro. Israel is just the bully of the Middle East on behalf of the United States of America.
Brandon, I have a question. I have a question. So did the USA have that relationship with Israel before 9/11? Because
Yes,
we still got attacked. 9/11.
The United States helped create Israel.
Listen,
The United States helped create Israel.
We did have that relationship with Israel. That's why. Listen. That's why. She asked me a question. She asked me a question. I'm answering it. Listen, we did have that relationship with Israel. That's why the United States and Israel colluded to allow 9/11 to happen. They agreed to let that happen. Israel and the United States are playing 3D chess on these fools, and y'all don't even understand that. They're working together to take Israel has no natural resources, none. How do you think they survive? They work with the United States to take what they want, and they say, look, we're going to be Israel was put there. Israel was put there to do exactly what they're doing right now. That is the United States on the Middle East, period.
No, wait, Brandon is right on that. Okay, the United Kingdom first of all created Israel. Okay,
yeah, the Balfour Declaration. Yeah, we know that.
Yes, right. So Saudi. Okay, one second. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Qatar, Jordan, all these countries that you see in the Middle East is a creation, really truly, is a creation of the United Kingdom. Well, Israel did betray the UK because the UK that's always been a strong ally of Israel before the US. There's been a time, because the population in the UK, they had enough of Israel. I'm telling you here right now where I live, majority of the people are not really in support of Israel. Okay, they're not. That's why Israel have leaned towards America, further towards the States. And the reality is, Israel is American proxy. Brandon is right. They have been used because they know. It's like a two-way survival.
They don't even listen to us. We can't tell them shit.
Remember. Israel. Yes, the people that you see in Israel today. Someone said they passed the technology to Russia. These are Eastern European Russians, the Slavic people. They are the same people as the Russians. So don't be surprised if.
Bro, that's treason, bro. They stole our nuclear technology, bro. How else did Israel get nuclear weapons?
At that time,
stealing it from America, bro. Like, come on, man.
At that time, there was more with the Russians, with the UK. There was
they robbed our nuclear secrets.
Pedophiles from New York flee to Israel and get protection in Israel.
How is that treason? How is that treason?
The guy who stole that file, Brandon, he's in Israel right now. He was sitting with the U.S. ambassador to Israel.
He should have been hung. He should have been hung on a damn news.
It does not matter. You are talking about an individual, right? In the UK, we had a guy who was imprisoned in the United Kingdom a few years ago for helping one of the Korean countries to help manufacture like a battery to something to do with nuclear. And it's against the United Kingdom national security. So you are talking about individual. You're not talking about the government. So that's the reason why I'm telling you, Brandon is 100% spot on that. Yeah, go ahead.
They're so ignorant that they don't realize this. The Jews are the ones who created the nuclear weapons. They didn't have to steal shit. All the scientists were Jewish.
Being of an ethnic group doesn't give your ethnic group rights to that.
Be quiet for a second. Oppenheimer. They're Jews. They anything, bro. Knew how to do it. So when
Obama gave you, bro.
They stole it. They already knew how to do it, bro. The scientists were all Jewish who created that stuff. So why would they have to steal that technology? You don't even make sense. These are things you got to
that's not how it works. Because somebody from an ethnic group, create something for the U.S. military, it doesn't entitle the entire ethnic group, to have that military secret. What are you saying, Brandon?
What we're trying to say is, an individual and the state are two different things, okay?
Right.
So if an individual have chosen to go and sell these things there, because he's greedy and selfish, you want to make money. You cannot tie that to the entire state. That's the point I'm trying to
No, that's
point
what
out
Brennan
here.
is saying. That saying there was a Jew who, you know, who cracked the nuclear, you know, code.
No, I'm not talking
Israel is
about
entitled to it because he was a Jew.
multiple Jewish
Jews
scientists.
created the nuclear weapons.
I'm not
Jews
talking about
created the nuclear weapons. So it
Yeah,
isn't.
but they were
So
working
isn't
for
it
the
a
United
surprise
States.
that
You
Jews
know,
did the
that's a proprietary military secret. You can't take it and sell it to Israel because they're Jews
Come
too.
on, Brandon. Come on, bro.
We know
The white man invented the white man invented the automobile. Next thing you know, all the white guys got automobiles, bro. They share information across
Brandon, that's
lines. The
different
Jewish
from
scientists
weaponry,
was not
bro.
gonna
Come
go.
on, bro.
The Jewish scientists were not going to deal with Hitler and then say, let's just give the United States all this power of everything. They purposely transferred that information to Russia because that's what keeps
No,
America
it was
honest
stolen
and
by
on
Jonathan
point.
Pollard, bro. It was stolen
Bro,
by
listen,
Jonathan
bro.
Pollard, bro.
No one has to steal what is in someone's IP, their intellectual property. These scientists already knew how to do that, bro. If one scientist does it, you know what other scientists do? They immediately start learning how to do it, bro. They know it can be done. They work towards it and they get it done. You guys are because there was no way that technology was going to stay in-house with the United States. Jews created it. You know the Jews always make a
Brandon, it
fail-safe,
sounds
bro.
like you
They
are
always leverage
making
their
an
bet.
excuse for
Brandon, a
espionage
question for you.
because this guy was an the Jew.
A question for Brandon. Who was the only country to use nuclear weapons? Who?
United States.
The United States of America.
Yeah,
United States of America.
Twice. So isn't it hypocritical to say that we're not going to let Iran develop? They don't.
Someone, Mike is really bad.
That's Brandon. Brandon, you got a lot of background noise, Brandon.
That wasn't me, bro. You had me muted and it was bad.
No,
that was
you, Brandon. Your mic was cutting
went
off.
out.
It was grinding.
The
just
brother's
now.
mic went out.
Well, it was United States of America, and that would make even more sense for the Jews to give the technology to Russia because you can't have one person with all that power.
That's treason, Brandon. You can't do that.
Brandon, that makes
citizens
sense.
of this country.
The person who stole it and gave it to them was a citizen of this country.
Brandon, makes sense that America is the aggressor sometimes. Like we're trying to stop something with Iran, but then we're the ones that use nuclear. It's just like a little hypocritical.
No, they had to use nuclear against Imperial Japan.
All the time.
They didn't want to.
Listen,
you know.
That's why I don't believe it. That's why I don't believe in women being a part of these conversations. Because women always look at things. Because women always look at things based on somebody's not being nice. If you listen, if you want to die at the hands of another country's nuclear payload, go ahead. But no man in his right mind is going to say, wait till they launch missiles, then try to do something about it. That's female thinking. That's female thinking.
Based on what you're saying, why hasn't America gone after North Korea? DPR
because of South Korea. Because of South Korea.
Yeah, because of South Korea, 100%. 100% because of South Korea.
And they threaten America all the time.
South Korea is what you have.
We got somebody new on the panel. Man in the High Castle, go ahead.
What's going on, everybody?
Go ahead.
Hello, proud Americans. I see you in the chat.
I'm not one. You talking to everybody else on there?
Well, yeah, you let him talk. Let him talk. Okay, you're not a proud American. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. High Castle.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this talk is going a little overboard, but as you know, there's always plans, and one of the plans that people may not look at, and it's much simpler, is that when Gaza was leveled, this was all part of a strategic logistics play. You know of the Suez Canal, correct?
Yes.
Well, the Suez Canal is being expanded into the new Suez Canal. However, the rival is the Ben Gurion Canal. The Ben Gurion Canal, if you look at it on the map, if you pull it up, it's right beside the Suez Canal, but the only thing difference is now Western powers such as Israel's best friend, the United States of America, the greatest country on planet Earth, now doesn't have to have any hassle from the Muslim world once they take over the Persian Gulf and seize all that oil.
Boom.
Pay attention to details very closely. I could tell you what banks are being involved with a lot of these things, but this is all part of 2030 agenda, which is the UN Saudi vision agenda. It's that simple. There's not going to be any World War III. Maybe perhaps energy crisis, which is more severe than World War III.
Why would America need to control
Hey,
the Middle East oil? Why would America need to control?
Don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him. Man,
I'm on common sense. I'm a composed brother. I love money. I love earning it. I love family. And I love clean pussy.
Was that really necessary?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
So,
bro.
That's a bunch of dudes on
Hey,
this team. We just had to know that, man.
Yeah,
He's a clown, man.
Dinus, she may have that gok, but she can't throw a tomahawk.
Yeah, I'm not talking about every woman. Anyways,
where's our girl, our beauty babe? You could have been advertising for her. That was a smooth line. Dinus, where's our girl? She's in that.
I don't know. Let Man High Castle finish though. I don't know. Go ahead, Man High Castle. Go ahead.
I mean, I could pull up a article, a viewpoint, but I prefer y'all do. But here, I have a link where y'all can kind of visualize it as best as you can. It's from Google Images. I assure you, it's legit. But it gives you visualization of how the Suez canals can now be bypassed logistically. No more Somali pirates, no more Hamas pirates, none of that. Just smooth sailing.
Okay, again, the question is:
No, you have the Iranian military there that's protecting
why would America need to control Middle East oil when America is a net exporter of oil? America does not need Middle East oil.
One world dominance.
You're exactly right.
What?
You are right. Homogeny, imperialism, and domination. You're exactly.
You just got to keep it simple. It's real simple.
Yeah, and so if another country, say China or Russia, had the same attitude, how would America feel about that?
They'd be, but that's just how it works, brother.
Who says they're not with it?
Who says they're not with it? America says they say they're not with it. China's not trying to dominate the world. Russia's not trying to dominate the world. But
China's not trying to dominate the world militarily. They're trying to do it economically.
Who says they're not with it? Like they're not going to interfere with what's really going on.
They don't have to interfere. They participate now. Who you think?
That's what I mean. They're with it.
Iran, China and Russia.
They're going to pull it back a little bit. Give a little pushback, but they're with it.
They're with what? What are you talking about? They're with
what? He's saying that they're aligned. He's saying that behind the scenes, China and Russia are you aligned with the United States and the Israel's agenda.
What Russia wants is obviously Ukraine to reunify. They're going to get that, just like China is going to get reunified with Taiwan.
They already unified with Taiwan. Taiwan is part of China. Everybody recognizes that. Even America says that.
Yeah, and I don't think
you mean Hong Kong, or you talking about Taiwan? I think you're talking about Hong Kong.
No,
Taiwan. No, it's both Taiwan too.
He's talking about
I got to pass the mic to Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
He doesn't know what's going on. He's just babbling.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Good evening, panel. How's everyone doing this evening?
You don't know what's going on.
Everything's good, Michelle. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of came in the middle. Are we talking about immigration, or where are we at right now?
Just go ahead, Michelle. Just go ahead.
In reference to the concern of immigration, we need to, as Black people, really have some real discussion how immigration affects us as Black people in this country and how it will moving forward, and set ourselves up to be protected. I do believe in the past history, especially the war on drugs, so unquote unquote, really affected us as a Black population, and that we should have been able to see how we should have recovered from that and see how we're being moving forward, because neighborhoods that were once mainly Black here in the DC area are now mainly occupied by immigrants. And so that all that affects in terms of access to jobs and access to resources. So moving forward, you know, the Democratic Party is not speaking to the Black population anymore, but however, imposing other issues on them and not really addressing the issues as a core. And that's where I'm at with it. And that's my concern with immigration here in America. And I think that's why the FBA movement, ADOS movement, has taken such a big stance in the media space, because again, the Democratic Party does not truly address Black issues, but just try to cover it up and insert certain issues that are not really Black issues.
Amen. Hallelujah, sister. I agree. Delineation is super necessary.
No party's gonna put your issues to the forefront if you're not organized, especially if you're not contributing economically and you don't have any consequences. No, Black people don't have any means to hold anybody accountable, so nobody is held accountable. It's that simple.
I think they attacked our ability to be accountable, and one of the ways they did that, and they did it very insidiously, to me, is the family system, especially with child support. Again, I was one of those sisters. Yeah, take him to court. But once I started working in the system, I realized how much more harmful that is to the family system, to the man.
Michelle, expand on that, Michelle.
Doing God's work, sis, by speaking right now.
Yeah, expand on that, Michelle.
It's harmful. Okay, I'm emotional. I'm upset. I got this baby with this dude. It was all good times. And as a woman, because we don't have any checks and balances, especially in the dating system. So again, if you're a young lady, you may not make the business decision. Young man, you may not make the business decision. Things happen. We had this baby. So instead of us, like in other cultures, instead of who's the nearest male figure in the man who got you pregnant's household? That's who we need to go and hold him accountable to, so we can have this, so we can care for this baby. That's how it really should be done. Again, it wasn't until I went into human services and I started seeing how other cultures handle it. Again, I'm saying you but her, he probably didn't choose you. But again, that's why they say you should marry before you carry. And that's why it's so important. That's why the men of the community tell their sisters and tell the women, hey, you need to marry before you carry, because how are you going to keep this man accountable to you? But instead, you go run to the white man. They'll give you the food stamps, the SNAPs, the Section 8, which now they're quietly taken away from us. I have another situation where a lady's living in an apartment. She's Section 8. They really want to kick her out so they can gut the apartment and put some new renters in. So we felt, as Black women, we felt for the big trick bag. And here I live in the DC area. So a lot of women got good jobs back in the 90s, 2000s. But guess what? They're sliding those benefits back. So what are we going to do? Because we didn't, like Kevin Samuel said, because a lot of people don't say it, I got a little liking towards him. He said that we chose jobs over our families, and now we're paying for it in full circle.
Would I be able to add on?
I think the issue is poverty. It's not even the women, right? If a woman is poor, she has a baby with a male, and the male leaves her, and now she can't take care of that baby adequately financially. She runs to the government. Now the government is going to transfer the cost to the father's name that's on that birth certificate. So even if he's not paying child support directly to her, they're going to garnish his wage at some point, back to the state for helping to support his child, whether it's through Section 8 or through food stamps. So usually some women don't go after their men, their baby's fathers directly, but they run to the state, and the state goes after the baby father.
Yes,
it's more insidious than that. It's more insidious than that.
If we had a community, we wouldn't have to go through a state. See, that was the biggest trick back. They tricked us in terms of we think we have to go through the government or some type of entity to address our issues. But come to find out, they're not addressing our issues. It's actually dividing us. Like, for example, I have a case right now that I'm working on. Young lady, she's living in the grandfather's house, moved the boyfriend in. And there was no checks and balances about bringing this guy in the household. Okay, now APS is involved. Is long story short, I mean, there's no level of accountability among us because we think the state is going to come in and take care of us, and they're not, and they're there to take our essence away from us.
Remove the child, orphanage, foster care. When a child is adopted or that one child, a foster care provider gets $17,000 a year, plus the stipends, monthly stipends.
What's wrong with that?
First and foremost, imagine if that was reallocated to families to help restore.
No, the money is to
family
take care of a
unit.
child. Taking care of a child is
Yeah,
expensive.
but what happens is, why don't you give it to the family system so they can start?
Right. They bypass all that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
usually the child is probably
They
being
don't even
neglected or
contact
abused at
Mexican.
home.
They don't
So
even.
he's not in a safe environment. That's why they put him in foster care.
These ACS, these DCF, or whatever they call themselves, they have no headquarters. Unlike Langley with the CIA and the feds in Chicago, the DCF, ACS, whatever they want to call themselves, has no central headquarters.
It's under Health and Human Services, bro.
Bro, they have no central headquarters.
Okay.
They don't even talk to one another state to state. So when a child is removed, a child can go to another state and no one knows where the child's at. The family can never recover it. They make it very difficult.
Well, I
So
want
it's
to
not
jump in.
centralized, basically.
Can
Yeah.
Can I
Go ahead,
please jump in? Because
Oh,
what
go
I
ahead,
think
Makadama. Go ahead.
what I think she was getting to, and I agree, was they'll give a lot of resources and funding to the kids in foster care. But if you would give those resources maybe to the families in need, it could be more of a proactive approach as opposed to reactive. But I also agree with the whole community that the Black people need to come together as a community. I feel like there is a lot of reliance on the government and we don't have Black leadership. Like after Martin Luther King, after Malcolm X, there's no like Black leadership to really advocate for the Black people. I think they're looking at the Democrats as that, but the Democrats aren't really doing that for the Black community. And like the Miss Michelle said, they're more so dividing us instead of us coming together as a people. It's like, well, we think more, this Blacks think more conservative, this thinks more liberal, when we need to come together and serve our community, help our single moms, help our guys like work and build for their family. Like there's this mindset, like we shouldn't even be having babies out of wedlock. Like get the women to want to get married, get the men to honor, you know, family and building family. Like we kind of have to get back to that community Black success mindset.
People have been saying that though. The thing is, people don't be disciplined to implement it. And this whole "we don't have no Black leaders" thing is dumb. Amos Wilson was out here for 20 years to giving Black people the direct solutions, and nobody listened. Even when Malcolm X was alive, like the majority of Black people didn't follow Malcolm X. They detested him because he wasn't no Christian and he was actually telling the truth. So Black people, bro, we know our solutions. The thing is, bro, majority of our people think like slaves and they're useless. It is what it is, bro. The thing, if for Black people that want to be in America, your solution is to separate from destructive, degenerate Black people that don't want to implement those solutions. Because you're not finna get no critical mass. These people have been programmed, and you're not finna oppose that programming because you don't have the power to do so, media-wise and systematically. So,
although there's a growing population
is a global
of
phenomenon. It's not just
grandparents who
African
are now
Americans.
becoming parents again. There's a growing population, I'm speaking in the United States, that are grandparents are becoming grandparents, are becoming parents for the first time. Again, they're 60s, they're in their 70s, now they're taking care of their grandchildren.
Yes. Do you know what?
There's nothing wrong with that in the African context.
One trend I also noticed in the UK, in Europe in general, you're seeing kids still at the age of like 40 still live with their parents, and they're having kids, and they're moving back in with their parents. It's like that intergenerational family is coming because people can afford to live. You know, they can afford to rent in their own places. Like most city where you can find jobs in the UK is so expensive. A lot of people can't even have a family, and that's the reality. And I just said this a few years ago about the lack of Black leadership. What's the solution? And some people took me down, but the reality is that is what's missing in the global. This is a global Black problem. If you think it's only America, the lack of Black leadership, then think again. We don't have any leaders in Africa or in America. We don't have anyone to look up to.
Who is the Chinese leadership, the Asian leadership in America? Who is the Latino leadership here in the United States of America?
Who are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Maybe you can't answer that question out because you live in the UK, but I'm asking Americans.
There's Chinese down.
They don't have it.
No, they do. They don't have a leadership per se, but they
don't have a figurehead.
Yeah,
exactly. So why are we asking for black people to have something the other groups don't have?
No.
Your culture should be your leadership.
History is their leadership.
Right.
Yeah,
but
your culture should be your leadership.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the thing is, we need somebody as a leader who direct us sometimes, to those things, because we have that throughout our history. Let's not get that twisted.
But brother, those people exist. The masses don't want to follow them because they hold them accountable. They don't want to be held accountable.
That's true. I
also
agree.
agree that I think we should get back to having I'm not saying overcrowded households, but we do need to have our households more crowded like how we used to before.
I agree.
But
I watch how these newcomers come over, whether they're illegal or not. The system does everything to make sure that Muslim man or that Hispanic speaking man or that Asian man is in that household. They do whatever to keep that family unit restored, to keep the grandma in there too.
Man, in the high class, you're so right, because in the UK, the people that are most successful, like the Asians and those people I've seen that actually do well, it's people that actually have intergenerational family household. They tend to work together and keep the family, the wealth in the family. They tend to, they probably have the granddad or the dad who actually lead the family, who they look up to, and the money is well kept, and they all bring in money at the end of the month, and they put the money somewhere, and if that one got problem where they can help, or they have a business, like a shop they can run, in between the family, they take time.
So do you live in a multi-generational household?
In Africa, I actually did in Africa.
No, I'm saying here in Europe.
No, come on, that's a silly question, because I don't live in my own indigenous lands. If I live in my indigenous land before the war,
what about the African Americans? They don't live in that quote unquote indigenous land, or some would say they do live in an indigenous land. Why do you think they don't live in multi-generational households?
African Americans live in the indigenous land.
I grew up in one, so that's not true.
There's a mindset. There's this independent mindset in America. Like the American families, by the time you're 18 or something, they want the kids out. Like 18 is an adult and they should be out there, instead of thinking, like you just said, other cultures come in and it'll be a couple of couples of family, aunts and uncles living in the house. They save up the money, they're all working, and then they all could branch off and buy whatever it is. But in America, it's like themselves, go do on your own, pushing everybody out. It's bad.
But I'm saying you personally, right, as an individual who's advocating and propagating for this. Hold on, let me make a point. Let me make my point. Are you inviting your nephews and your cousins to come live with you to save money? Are you doing that?
That's still present in a lot of black households, though. I grew up in a multi-generational. Like we have 4 generations growing up in our house. But when you see the most productive thinking black people, most times they finna come from the family dynamic like that. What happened after integration is black people took on this Americanism idea, trying to be individuals, which what the sister said was correct, and more consumerism.
I also respond to that question, if I may, please. What happened is that some of the families I work with, not like they had to leave the house because there was stressors in the household, which they had to leave the household. Again, different dynamics, different level of resources. Again, as opposed to an immigrant family, the whole family's intact. Nobody's talking about, because again, I work with a lady who had to leave at the age of 18 because of the stressors in the household.
Yeah, multi-generational living is not a part of the American culture. It is in other.
In general, it's not. But again, we're talking about black people, because I work in human services and I work with numerous families who at 18, 19, 20, I'm even working with somebody right now who has to leave the household because it's a stressor situation where right now the mother moved her fiance, her wife or whatever she is, and the young man and that lady is not getting along. He would like to stay, but he said that stressor of him and that stepmom, that whole situation, to each his own. He needs to move out. He tried to go stay with the father, but the father got a girlfriend. All sorts of stuff. A lot of
That's
stress.
just selfishness.
Yeah, one of the problems is
selfishness.
that black people, and I would say for immigrants, because I'm part of that community. If you're living with your sister or your auntie, right, and she tell you pay $500 a month in rent and you can stay here, you start thinking, well, for an extra $400, I can get my own apartment. I can be the head of my own household. I can have my privacy and my independence. I don't have to follow rules. I'm paying $500 in this house for a little simple room and a little bathroom. So people kind of rationalize that and they want their own space. It's not like you multi-generational households, you're living there for free. Usually you have to pay rent. You have to contribute a lot of things to the household, whether it's helping with food and other things. So most people look at it as, if I pay a little, a couple of $100 extra, I can get my own place and be the head of my household and make my own rules and live and make my own decisions. So that's one of the reasons why. Now you talk about the Mexicans and the Asians, you have to be within that household to know what they go through. Especially the one group you'll see is the monks, from Laos. They had a guy, general, whatever his name was, that brought them here. And they would tell you that he told them specifically that they should always stick together, they should never leave each other. So it's ingrained in their mind that they need to be living in multi-generational households. For that
And
one
would you
particular
say
group, they
these
do
are
it. I don't know about the
liberal
Mexican,
values, socialist values,
but the monks,
or conservative
they
values?
do that particularly because of what the general told them.
Elvis, what you just said now, sorry, my love. What Elvis just said now, one of my uncle that live in Southeast London, which is a very expensive area, is the same thing that happened to one of his boys. He said to him, you can stay here and pay certain amounts, or you go out, and he gave him the option. My man went out because he want to be out there partying, linking up girls, bringing different girls home, blah blah blah, and he's gonna be restricted at home. He went out. He left. A year later, he's back and he's been living there for over 3 years. He just saved up, for his first deposits. He's buying a house in Wales. So this, what you're saying now, it doesn't. It's our culture as people. We are not Western people naturally. So I think black people in general, especially black kids in this generation, need someone to guide them. They need that father figure. Don't let your son leave the home at the age of 18 and just go out there. Let another random guy, some roadman, become the father figure, because things gonna go wrong. You can never let that happen.
I just gave you two examples of one example of a young man. Mother is about to marry another woman. Okay, this is real life stuff. Can't go to dad because dad got a girlfriend. Okay, they lost the house because of gentrification. A whole nother family story. This is what we are dealing with. So now you got somebody like Tariq Nasheed and so forth who's coming in on line. So he's going to respond to that. He's going to be inclined to that information and not look at the bigger picture.
Well, how does that correlate to him listening to Tariq Nasheed?
Because he's listening.
Is he of working age? Is he past the age of majority? Past 18?
Yeah, he is, but he's still a young person.
I mean, if he would be listening to that same stuff if he was still in his parents' household. That doesn't correlate. But I see what you're saying as far as people being vulnerable to follow things, but that situation doesn't correlate to that.
What I can say is that I'm definitely not an 18-year-old. I don't even empathize with the 18-year-olds because, man, I was even kind of late leaving my parents' household too, two-parent household. However, I just see it today is that, man, they could be 28 and I was 20 when I left, but they could be 28, 38, still living it. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not me, and any woman I feel who's dealing with a brother, because I'm a brother, that dealing with a brother and is living with his family, under his mama's roof. It's just like me. Any woman who's living under their mama's roof, I don't think we could build with a future
Right.
together.
You
At
got a
no time.
strong point. It arrests your development as a man, or that, especially a man. If you're leaving the nest late, that means you have to figure things out on how to be a man, how to be independent, how to lead a family at a later stage. So your development is arrested, because if you're living at 28 years old and you're going to your own place, and maybe by 30 you're married, those 2 years is the only time you really have on your own to really mature, take care of bills, and do things as a man. You're living way you're starting the game way too late. So I think what parents,
Elvis.
one second, please. I think what parents need to do is focus on how to teach their kids independence while they're still with them, teaching them about credit scores, how to maintain a good credit score, how to pay bills, how to do those things while they're still there. And maybe by 21 they can go out on their own and be prepared for it. So I think preparing your child is more important, than the child trying to leave or live with you until they're 25 or 26.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You have to be giving them things that are going to instill that responsibility. That's just being a responsible parent. So I think 28 is definitely too late. But I mean, there's multiple cases where married people have to go back and go into their parents' home because they have some financial struggle. So it's just to me, it's only like from a communal standpoint, it's about what you're implementing. You can implement responsibility within a communal structure. You don't necessarily have to be on your own to find that responsibility or to engage in responsible behaviors.
And that's what I
Yes, I
kind of
think
wanted to jump to, because it's really a mindset. Because like he said, that communal mindset, you could go out there and be independent and pay someone else's mortgage, or you stay with the family, build generational wealth. Like, I just feel like it's a mindset, because the gentleman that spoke before that said, I don't want to build with a woman that's living at home with her family. But let's say that they have a nice house in a nice neighborhood and she has her own quarters and she has over 200K in her bank account. It's like some families that's cultured, she could be African cultured. They don't let them move out until they're married, because they have that mindset of family, community, building, generational wealth. So it's really a mindset that we need to break out of. It's like I want my own apartment. I want my own independence. Go get a good career and be independent. Like, just having your apartment and paying someone else's. If you're buying your own house and moving out of mommy's house, then sure. But if you're going to pay rent somewhere else, why not give your family that money?
Thank you.
Let me add on
Absolutely.
to you, sister,
Well said.
complimentary briefly. One of the first things that I require as a full-grown man in my 40s, the 5 C's: car, credit, cash, career, common sense. You at least have to have 3 of the 5 C's for just to have more than an interview with me, just to qualify as a candidate.
Can I say something to my kind of mind, if I may ask? Because again, I work in an urban environment, and the young man I'm telling you about, how should I say, the family broke down because his grandmother was affected by addiction, and because of that addiction the grandmother experienced, it has generationally affect that particular family system. His mother is doing well; she's working. The grandmother, his great grandmother, had the home, but again, family dynamics, and lost the home. So what are we going to do with our brothers who were affected by that dynamics of the war on drugs? That is a good enough sector to really support them and mold them so they can continue on forward.
Ooh.
So they're not going
You talking
online.
about old people?
I'm sorry.
You talking about old people that was addicted to drugs?
No, I'm talking about him. His grandmother was addicted.
Oh, so you talking about the kids that are reflective of the people that was addicted to drugs?
Yeah, because now that's the generation I'm dealing with now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that affects a lot of people. I mean, to me, that you're gonna have to be addressed systematically, because that is a large contingent.
So
of
when
people.
we talk about Black people and we're talking about Black immigrants and their situation, this is why people are. I guess this is these are the under symptoms of the quest for delineation without really breaking these issues down and having an open discussion. That's why I'm upset with the Democratic Party. The Black experience looks very different than from someone coming from somewhere else. Even I've known people where I live in
I don't know about that. All my wives are tethers. All my baby mamas is tethers.
Okay, I mean I'm not aware of your circumstances.
Man, come on, man. What are you
They
talking
don't
about?
behave like tethers, but I'm just using that in general.
Bro, you 40 talking about baby mamas, bro. Come on. Just say your wives.
They all foreign.
Are they Black foreign?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Just asking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then
however, they're not like a Southern woman, like the woman I've seen in my family. That's for damn sure.
Okay, I mean that was your choice.
You confused.
But what I'm getting at is that no. They don't. There's a difference, and I will say this one thing: a lot of these women, they the FBA woman in the United States of America is more go-getting oriented from the jump, while the woman who's in America from foreign background, especially if she's from a foreign background herself, born from a foreign background, she is either the runt or the litter of her family, or she's committed to her family through she just has to stay. She always has to commit. If mama says she's sick, she has to donate to mama, even mama's lying. If the brother says, hey, my car is flat, I need some extra money, she always has to chip in.
Yeah, that's just African culture.
She can never
though.
leave. They can never leave.
I know Black
That's
Americans.
just African culture.
Can I say something? I know last year I had a sister, her half brother got had a little altercation, and they put the money together and got him bail. So what's the difference?
Yeah, facts. It's just basic.
A FBA one will be like, chill. Wow.
No, but I understand why you say. I understand
other women,
what
they
I
be more of a
saying.
sucker. They fall for the scam all the time. We have these people, we have these country bunkins who will keep on trying to test us too. But we wise up on, nah, bro, you lying.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the point because we come together and help family too. I don't.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But we know when
not
we know
not
a
right
scammer.
now.
We know a
Not
scammer.
right now.
But that's not a good thing though, brother. That's not good.
We know a scammer.
No, but I'm saying like if you talking about a scam, yeah, I mean, but that can be addressed.
Yeah, that's what they be doing. These
but
families
that can be addressed. That can be addressed.
They be predatory to them.
But people, I do see what you're saying now. You're saying that it's more of a reluctant disposition.
I'm sick. I need another. Oh, I got robbed. The candy store got robbed. Can you send me another barrel? Can you? All this other mumbo jumbo shit. They be lying.
Are you talking about their family members in Africa?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
He's talking about remittance and just being able to
it doesn't matter.
willing to give.
You say it doesn't matter. So I mean,
always predatory.
No, but brother, that's family. That's family.
Our women would be like chill out here.
That's not good.
Would be like chill. Nah, you know.
That's not good, brother.
The difference is, bro.
What you do with the money that I just sent you?
Let me say this right. The difference is, say because I'm in a similar situation. I have siblings, back home in Liberia. So if my sister tell me that she needs food for the month, if I send her $200, which is a negligible amount for me, that's going to feed her and her kids for an entire month. So if somebody asks you for money back home, they're not asking you for $5,000 to bail somebody out of jail or $1,000 for rent for the next month. A couple of $100s could really help them. So when people are sending money back home, it's negligible to them here, but it helps a lot back there because the money means so much more, and it stretches out farther, further than what it will here. So when people send money back home, they're not sending their last. They're not sending money that's going to stop them from paying the rent. There's a couple of $100 that's going to help a family member in need.
But what about pulling your money together and stop just depending on one family member?
Well, no, that's the African mentality.
So
when your family member is here, when your family member is here, you realize that, most of the time they know what you do, they know how much you're making, and they know that you can help them. Usually what some families try to do is to build a home where the family can stay at so they don't have to pay, worry about rent. If you have multiple siblings, you pull money together, you build a family home where your sisters and maybe your cousin can live in there. Then the rent situation is out of the door. And it may be school fees because, kids pay school fees back home in Africa, for example, and you take care of their school fees. And everybody wants to help their family because being here is a way to uplift your family back home. So many people take the opportunity to make sure that their families are living better lives than they were before they came to the United States.
Thank you,
And that's
Elvis.
how it should be.
I agree with that, Elvis. That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
But
You know,
But the only thing difference is
a Black American experience and a Black immigrant experience, and those are delicate issues. And this is why
right.
I think adds to the diaspora misunderstanding, and we need to be careful in how we discuss these matters. And thank you, Elvis, for explaining that.
There's nobody from the United States who has the African or Caribbean woman say, hey, or Caribbean, they're not begging their No, I want you to, it's not the flip side where you have an American woman or American man say, hey, could you ask your could you ask your people we're not doing the same thing where we're begging our rich person in Africa or wherever. We're not doing we're not doing it back how they would do it in our situation.
Wait, huh?
You know what I mean?
No, I really don't. I'm trying to understand
where you
the
have
dynamic.
a counterpart, where you're the counterpart, and you're the foreign person, and you're living in America as a foreign person. You're not going to your American-born person and saying, "Hey, you got to send I got to send money back to my people in UK." You don't have an American person in UK doing the same thing to that UK person. You don't have an American person doing that to an African person or to a Caribbean person saying, "Hey, you got to send some dollars to my people in America. My mama's sick. My brother's sick."
Because we grew up, it's a different culture though.
Realize that's the dynamics why there is no diaspora.
The financial
that's one.
Africa.
No, there ain't no diaspora.
That's one of the reasons why
I see what he's saying.
African women
it's predatory. I'm not saying that everybody's doing. I'm not saying everybody's counterpart is corrupt, but they be having corrupt folks that they don't know how to tell. Chill. They don't have safeguards to be like chill. They feel like they'll be exiled.
No, it can be. No, I see what you're saying. But that can be addressed though. There's ways that it can be addressed. But reminisce that is the culture. But I think there has to be a happy medium and balance because, with like the sister said earlier, we could benefit communally from adopting that, and we had that. But the thing is like everybody said on here before, it's more of an individualist culture here in America. Most people are just out for themselves to a certain level, but there's still communal aspects. But adopting that it would be good.
Yeah, and
my advice is find someone who have a degree, a woman that can actually add, bring in as a team. Don't have someone if you don't have if you're not well off, someone who have money or stuff like that as a guy. I don't think you should be with someone that actually doesn't add up to the value. Those days I'd finished to say you the guy have to be the 100% provider. You need that 50-50 partnership. That's one of the reasons as an African who was brought up in the UK, I never dated African women. So I don't know why. It's one of the reasons. And also I don't date women that, who have links to have their parents over there. I stick to the people around here who I know their family, and also they're quite educated, who can actually be a partner, not someone that can drain my pocket. And I think this is the UK thing in general. We learn from this.
Yeah, brother, Africa, but this is my concern as Black people in the global diaspora in the United States. One of our biggest issues stems from us not being our foundation not being financially stable as a whole, as a collective. Right. I mean, and again, these are conversations we need to have, and this is why I think that's why we're having the diaspora wars, because of these financial imbalances within various aspects of us globally. and America
I
being
agree. I agree with you.
And America being the center of all. So our family here in America who came here, who were here first, and then unfortunately what we were, the Atlantic slave trade and so on and so forth, Jim Crow, we got to respect that history as well and see how we can best move forward and not dismiss our brothers and sisters who are Black immigrants and our Black immigrants, but don't dismiss us who are here. Neither.
Yes.
We need to have we need to have a common ground, and the Democratic Party have an issue with because they don't want to have the discussion of the heart of this issue because it's financial.
Yes, my sister. I mean, Michelle. I do agree to your stance a lot about this. You know, these Democrats, Republicans, and all this partisan politics, and also what go. It's the same thing that we have over here. You know, we have the conservative who've been in power. You know, years ago when I came here. You know, we thought they was terrible, they was bad. Let's go for the left, and the left come in to the point where we had actually the first Iraq war. Okay, and most of the time, these left-wing parties that we have in the UK, they are pro-migrant, but they're not pro-Black immigration. They are pro-white immigration. They always made this clear. There's no party in the West who actually is there for pro-Black immigration. So that's the reality. So we should.
Ken Stromer's a problem, bro. Y'all need to address him for real, man.
Yeah. So the reality is,
I mean, y'all can't go through that no more, man. I mean, I'm just looking at it. I'm never going over there, but at the same time, it's just that I look at all these Democrat socialists. There's a pattern. Say, for instance, Brandon Johnson in Chicago.
He's horrible.
Karen Bass. Karen Bass in L.A. Senator Warnock in Georgia. Senator Tim Walz in Minnesota. Shapiro in Pennsylvania. They all wear glasses. Ken Stromer wears glasses, and they're all out there. Left-wing
Don't forget me. I live in Maryland, Westmore.
They're all crazy, and they all wear glasses.
Maryland? You said you live in Maryland?
Yeah, Westmore. That's our governor.
That's lobster.
What
does wearing glasses have to do with it, brother?
There's something to it. When they wear these glasses, everyone that I just mentioned, they nutty as hell with that left-wing socialist stuff. Be careful with Ken Stromer. He's dangerous.
That's all are dangerous, man. If you're not organized, any politician is dangerous. Any political entity is dangerous when you're not organized as a people. It's just that simple.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. I think it is the same thing that same foul that we fall into the UK here. And I did warn you. The first time you made a show about Mamdani, I'm warning you that keep that tight. One day you guys gonna come back to me and say you was right about him. Okay, the guy
New York City is not a real place, but yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
I can't. New York City's gone. They have to deal with that. And when anybody who's in the United States right now, since you just brought that up, when these DC natives keep on fleeing from New York, overcharge them when they come to your state. Don't give them no discount. Overcharge them. Allow them just to live. Because they're gonna bring that same crazy ass New York City culture with them.
He's gonna tax the Black people out of New York 100%. What I was gonna say, the problem we face in the West, we're not organized. Is a problem. We're not a lobby group. You know, our population is not big enough to make an impact. Financially, we're not that dangerous to the economy, and also our continent is not militarily dangerous to them. We're just ignored. We're on the sideline, okay? And what they do is they will use us to get tiny bit extra votes. And when they get the extra votes, they'll dump us, okay? And when they need us, they'll come back for us. And it's going to be like that. It's a circle. And, you know, the left is going to use us. The right is going to use us. Nothing is going to change until we have a strong lobby group and unite as a force. You know, regardless, I think the African Americans need to be a lobby group instead of being conservative, left, right, and so on. You know, because the thing is, most African Americans, they actually want similar things. Most Africans want similar things as a group. But what African Americans want in America is not the same as what Africans want in a whole. Okay,
America's moving to the right. We're moving
Yes, the
towards
world is moving.
nationalism
My
every day.
brother, the
So
world is
I don't know
moving to the
about
right.
y'all guys, but are y'all
My
moving towards nationalism?
yes, yes. We have a guy who is Trump puppets who is here, who is leading the polls in the UK, and he's more dangerous than Trump. Okay, and for the first time in the United Kingdom, thank God to the Nigerian woman who is called Kemi Badenoch, who led the Conservative Party, who has been, feeding them the red meats to a point they don't want her anymore. Now they have chosen a different party because she's a black woman. Now she's crying racism. She have actually felt this, yeah, to a
Oh, I
point
seen
where,
her. Forget her.
okay, you seen her, right? She felt this so much. Now she have emboldened the racists to actually come out plain
Is she from
sight.
Germany originally?
No, she's Nigerian. She's Nigerian. She's from Nigeria. She have emboldened them, and now the party, our party has been fragmented. Most of the MPs who doesn't like black people at all have run away to this new party who's leading the polls. So if there's general election in the UK today, the guy called Nigel Farage is going to win it. Okay, he's going to win the election, and he's going to go after. The UK is already on the right. Even the left-wing government that we have today have legislated so much. The British passport, if you're not white English, is not the paper is not, it's not worth what it's written on. Okay, you understand? It's not worth it because there are people who actually will be given a British nationality who will be their passport can be revoked. Okay, without even writing a letter. Okay, for any reason, they will actually do it. So the reality is, the world is going to the right. The UK is going to the right. Europe is going right. America is going right, and we are still stagnant as people.
But these
So we need
people,
to.
we don't realize how they are
I don't know.
they
Y'all gotta
socially
speak for yourself. We doing well out here now.
they socially engineer these dynamics, brother. That's what people do
They
not
did.
realize. These
They
are
did.
20 to 30 year output plans. You can go back 20 to
Thank
30
you.
years of them talking about how they're going to shift the society and what's going on in terms of the sentiments of the average individual. The thing is, people are so dumb and naive that we get stuck on these partisan conversations. And that's
right.
what they plan to do. They know how to pull out the average individual psychology because they study these people in marketing and programming.
I studied.
How would
My brother,
delineation
I
work out
studied.
there in
Sorry,
the
I
UK?
studied this. I
I
studied this
have a
from Tony Blair
question.
days. Okay.
I
Yes.
have a good question. So,
Mhm.
because let's think about like the future. If we
Okay.
had to have a leader for the black
Yeah.
people, for all of us in the UK, in Germany, black in America, black in Africa, who
Yeah.
would you guys want it to be? Because like I'm for Ibrahim Traore. So who would you
Obadele
guys want that?
Cambone. Obadele Cambone.
Okay, can I say something,
Yeah.
sister? I don't know. Do we have to have a leader? Could we have a co? Because I want some. I would.
No, we need a leader. We need a
You need
leader,
a
or the
code. That's
Democrats
it.
are
Y'all
going
need
to
a
play
code
this
out that way.
game. The Democrats
Y'all
are going
need.
to keep playing this game.
So
The
compromised.
Democrats are done in the United States. They
They're so
cooked.
compromised. Like
You think
after
so? You think they're done?
Jesse Jackson.
Oh yeah, we unplugged the machine. They plug it back in, but they done. The
Brother, that's
little
not
babies, the
true,
little
man.
American babies, are scared of Democrats.
That's not true.
Yeah.
These
Hell yeah,
majority of these people are still
little
brainwashed
American babies. They
by
scared
them.
of Democrats out here.
I think
That's
the
not true,
Democrat
brother.
will come back. I think they will come back, but they will be just slightly. They'll be like purple. Okay, they will be just like what we have in the UK. We managed to get rid of the conservative government because we think they're racist, they're bad, they're doing all kind of stuff. Because the guy that was here, Boris Johnson, was a very Trump ally. Okay, he followed Trump like anyone, and he introduced loads of bad policies. This government that was in opposition was opposing, saying they're racist, they're doing that to ethnic minority is unfair, and they're saying stuff that's racist. And then they came into power on the back of ethnic minority, and they're doing the worst than the previous government in terms of everything.
No,
So
but
you cannot trust them. You can't
no,
trust them.
we can't do Democrats anymore. There's no comeback for
Yeah.
the Democrats here in America because
Nah.
like there's no comeback. And then what's happening with Trump, that's why they said Trump may be the last president. I don't even know if you guys heard that rumor, but there's
That's
no
nonsense.
comeback.
47, the last president.
That's
But
nonsense.
But you guys didn't
No, it's
answer.
not.
Who's the leader? Do you guys agree with Ibrahim
I need
Traore?
I need someone
That's
that I
not
need.
that's not realistic though. Like that's not
Do you know what
realistic.
my
It
no way it's not
is.
It's
realistic.
not realistic because black people do not want to be held accountable
Ibrahim
to that
Traore got
extent.
Russian dollars and Chinese dollars in his wallet. He don't got
I
no
think
Burkina Faso
I
dollars in his
I need
wallet.
someone like
Your question.
I will choose someone that have the same mindset as Malcolm X. Whoever that is,
Oh, I
I
love
will follow
Malcolm
him.
X. I love
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
How can you love Malcolm X and like Trump? That makes no sense.
I'm different.
Mm.
I'm one of a kind.
You contradicting yourself. That'd be a major problem with our people, man.
Yeah, I
That
don't
makes
know
no
if that's
sense.
contradictory.
That is
Trump.
I think
contradictory.
it's
No,
contradictory.
Trump. How? Trump is like, he stands for what he wants. He speaks his
Exactly.
mind. Nobody could run him. Yeah, he's compromised right now, but the
No,
Trump that
he's
I
an
like,
imperialist, man. He's an imperialist.
no,
He disrespects women. That's not Malcolm X at
no,
all. So
they don't have to be the same people, but I like
they don't
Malcolm
even
X.
think alike.
But they don't have to think alike. You could like different people.
Why are you worried about
Yeah,
the
you can. Yeah.
I'm worried about the collective. What are we going to do about the collective to keep our
Look, there's the
Yeah,
collective.
when
The
I think about
collective is
collective, I'm
a
not thinking
figment.
about foreign black folks. Nah.
The collective is a figment. That's what I'm
Hell no.
saying. Like there's too many different ideologies.
Think about
That's
America.
my thing.
But
You got
No, but the collective is when we're respected. A gentleman said it. There needs to be like an African party, something that just represents
Nah.
the black people. We're
that
so
is
divided.
gonna cause an
We're
argument.
so
That's what I'm saying.
divided that we can't stand. We're
Yes.
so
Yes.
divided that we can't stand. We need
Yes.
to unite.
But sister, my
Something that
You're gonna have to separate in order to do that, sister. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that organically with this crop of black people that's in the United States. They're not. It's not gonna happen.
The man in the high
And that's why
castle
we
was the
need
leader.
hence a leader. Hence a leader.
As the man in the high
If
castle
you
was
don't
the
have a
leader,
leader,
I
that can,
cut off the bridge. I chopped the rope off the bridge immediately.
if you don't
I
have a
wouldn't
leader
want to
that can,
colonize y'all. None of that. I just chop off the bridge immediately.
if you don't have a leader that can actually hold people accountable physically, that's not gonna work with this group
We
of
go
people
on
right
our
now.
own way. We delineated.
There has to be real consequences.
But this is the issue.
Yes. Yes.
The reason why
Yes.
the Chinese love the Chinese, because the Chinese have enough self-esteem and self-identity to say, you know what, we want to sustain our culture, sustain identity, and also continue
Right.
ourselves to see us for 5,000 years. Whereas our collective to say, hey, I'm black and I'm proud. I want to see myself 5,000 years from now. Where's our plan?
I'm American.
Right.
I'm American.
Right.
You are American.
It exists. That collective exists. That
Bruce
collective
Lee was
exists.
American too. Do you see how the Chinese treated him?
What are you talking about?
Bruce Lee was American born. He was an American born person from Oakland, California. Do you see how the Chinese treated him?
Well, he got number one. I don't know the dynamics of that relationship.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that's just like how I'm an American. How would you expect the
So
African
my
to
question
treat
to you is,
me?
you're an American. What about the future of your children, your descendants, your grandchildren?
Here in America, we're doing well in the United States. We fight here. We fight
Oh, good.
here.
I'm glad you're here. Stay here. That's not my issue.
Exactly. No fleeing in my bloodstream.
Good.
He
You
has
see,
that
sister,
American
this is where the
mindset.
problems
He
are at.
has
You
that
have people with different
individual
agendas,
American
man.
mindset.
Yes.
You have people with different
I'm
agendas.
glad Mr. Highcastle
That's not a problem.
wants to be here and he
Yeah.
wants to
People with different
take
agendas.
advantage of the economy here. He should.
Yeah. People who. Yeah. Sorry, sis. People with different agenda. It's not a problem. Okay. It's not a problem. There's people with different agenda in the West. You know, we know the Anglo-Saxon world is they all got slightly different agendas. Okay. It's not a problem, but it's looking at the bigger picture.
I've never needed a
But
passport to
brother,
find a woman.
again, I agree with you to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But when those agendas diametrically oppose each other, that's when there's a problem. And a lot of these groups that are in the black, quote unquote, black American community, they're diametrically opposed fundamentally. So that's why it'd be so much confusion.
That's not good. That's if it's fundamentally opposed, it's a big problem. But
Yeah,
if it's
that's why the problem
based
arises.
yeah, if it's
I can't
opposed
wait
based
for
on
this
different
next
interests.
census. I can't wait for this next census.
Man of the High Castle, man of the High Castle, you're here in this forum, which is a Pan-African forum. So therefore, you somewhat identify with the Black diaspora at some point, or you wouldn't even be on this forum. Am I correct?
Um, I can't wait for this next census. I can't wait for this next census.
Right.
I can't wait for this next census.
Right.
I can't wait for this next census. in my previous life,
You got your
in
silence
my
for a second.
previous life,
Yeah.
in my previous life as a hard-working square brother who
So
didn't
you
unlock
say
his
your
villain
brother.
yet,
Where does that nomenclature come from? It comes from us.
huh?
We're waking
As a
him up,
hard-working
Michelle.
square brother.
We're waking him up, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
No.
The
As a
nomenclature you
hard-working
just used,
square
the
brother.
word brother. There's nothing
As a
wrong with being a
hard-working
square brother.
square brother who was pretending not to
Good.
be a villain many years ago,
Amen.
many years ago. Yes, I definitely
I
knew about
asked
the
you
red,
to be
black,
an
and green. I
example
knew
for
about the
plenty of
red, black,
grown
and
men out here.
green. I was very versed. However, it was around 2017. That's when I started to see the bigger picture.
Okay.
And then during the pandemic, that all made sense. I seen it all.
Okay,
And that's
King.
when I started looking at things. Risk management. I'm an actuary. So I started to put up the puzzles. And it all makes sense.
The
They're
pandemic.
trying. Yes, the pandemic. It just all made sense. The Khalif Browder situation in New York woke me up. When those illegal immigrants from Mexico lied on him, said he stole their laptops and iPhones, and he was jailed for 3 years on Rikers Island and was tortured there. And then he unalived himself afterwards, but they fled back to Mexico. That's what opened up my eyes. But the pandemic, when I saw what was going on, when the Democrats did the crypto bank run and it hurt my portfolio, oh man, that's when I really started to see what's really going on. When I started to see what's really going on in my neighborhood, it was already a suburb, but then they facelifted it with immigrants who couldn't speak English. I used to bring my children to the bus stop all the time. People were speaking English. Yes, there was people of different demographics.
That sound like the city where I live.
No. But then what happened was eventually during 2023, no one was barely speaking English. I'm like, who are these people? How did they get these vehicles? They don't even speak English. Yes, they're nice. Maybe they don't represent the ones I see on television. But I'm looking at these machachos. They're like 8, 10. I'm thinking like another 10 more years, they'll be old enough to vote.
They'll be old enough to probably
They'll
marry.
be able to oppress my children and be able to oppress my children. Oh, hell no.
Or date your children. What about that?
This is systematically done, though. This same thing happened at the beginning of the 20th century.
That got me ready. Like I had to get back to training.
This happened with the white folks in the beginning of the 20th century. They had the same xenophobia.
Yeah, it's the same problem that we face.
Who's going to marry your children? See, that's every community in some aspect have some type of plan. Who is going to marry
children? I only think children right now, we're trying to get them into more marriage situations.
Yeah, see, that's the issue.
Just abroad, and right now, the highest growing marriage in the United States is actually the blended family. People who already had families built, who already been married or getting remarried again, people who already have started a family, or a woman who doesn't have children, she's getting married to a guy who already has 3 children. That's the highest growing marriage rate in the United States.
Yes, but see,
the highest growing divorce rate in the United States is actually the gray divorce. Gray divorce indicates old and gray. People who are old and gray are getting divorced the most.
Hey guys, let me read this super chat that we're closing out. Gusto Ferran Danso, thank you for $5 holla. Trump is the white sun. We need a black sun in our solar system. Somebody will all gravitate to, like a Marcus, a Kwame, a Du Bois, a Malcolm, not a Tariq. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru.
Thank you. Next time. Bye-bye.
Oh, and another one from
thank you, boss.
$2 holla. Dude, you call yourself a Pan Latino. Focus on Mex Tether. Okay.
God bless America.